killer podcast going.
I think that'll be cool.
It's funny when you say it like that, but it's like it's not a funny subject, but it's like when you say serial killer podcast.
You should see the shit though. Like I'll come in the bedroom sometimes and I'll see her computer and I'll see some of the shit on it. And
Are we in? Are we live?
Right. Well, you should have Murph talk to her.
Yeah.
Does he research that shit too, or what? Or is he into that?
He's actually related to some serial killers.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name? We talked about
Killers,
it
plural?
Yeah, so it was a family.
It was a family of yeah, I can't think of the name though.
The Hoppers or something like that.
The Killers.
I can't remember, but yeah, it's some family back east. They would lure people in, take them down in the basement, torture them, kill them, keep their bodies in the basement and stuff.
Yeah, I heard a lot of things like that back in the day. They'd be like, they'd stop off like a little B&B type thing, and then they'd murder you in the night. And since you were just some traveler out on the road back then,
way before everything was,
that's why their wagon wheel fell off and they died of distemper and diarrhea.
Like, yeah, I mean, straight, Oregon Trail type stuff.
Speaking of crazy murderers, did you see that? And this should be her first topic, is because it's coming out in a movie pretty soon and shit. They weren't technically serial killers, but it was still a true crime story. Is the Tyson family?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. The Tysons, super famous around here. Actually, when
Mike Tyson?
No. Almost worse. They so basically the dad of the Tysons and his friend got arrested for something long term that was robbery, burglary, rapery. I don't remember, but they went to prison.
Rapery.
It's a word.
Convinced the three Tysons boys to break them out of prison.
Ooh. And
this was in Florence. My mom was actually dispatching the day it happened, so I heard a lot about it. And when they ultimately, the roadblock that caught them, I knew a couple of guys that were involved in that and actually exchanged gunfire with them too. But so basically, they ran all over the fucking country to get away from Florence. Killed a family in New Mexico, I think. Killed a family in Colorado. Just gunned people down everywhere they went for virtually nothing. One family they killed, it was a husband and wife and an infant, if I remember right. Killed them to take their car. Mm. And then all of a sudden they get back into Colorado and realize they'd have a better chance at running from Mexico, so they come right back through Pinal County, and they ultimately get caught on Choo Choo Highway.
No shit.
Yeah, so they run from Florence, get caught after a 3-state fucking adventure. They get caught, 15 miles from the prison, on their way back south. And they got in the running gun battle. The oldest son, or one of the sons at least, I'm pretty sure it was the oldest son, got killed during the gun battle. The best friend of the dad gets caught. The two youngest sons get caught. The dad gets shot but runs off into the desert. They found him dead in the desert like 7 or 8 days later, died from his gunshot and the exposure and shit. Mm-hmm. But the friend was one of the more recent people they put to death in Florence within the last couple of years. They finally executed him. This was in like 79.
They executed him because of the
murders. While he was,
they pinned them all on him and had trials for like all that shit.
Yeah. And then the two sons.
What happens when you get arrested for murder.
Well, but I mean,
for the original charges.
It's just shitty that they have to do the due process of like, we know you killed these fucking people, but let's have this fucking long drawn out trial.
I hate it when you see an active shooter, and they
you have to have a trial for that.
They still
like
have
you
to call
watch
him
him
a
on
suspect.
television do it.
He allegedly shot at police officers. No, allegedly. I saw him do it.
You want to pull it up on YouTube? It's fucking on there.
Exactly.
Allegedly, yeah.
They but yeah, so they had a made-for-TV movie 100 years ago that came out for it that wasn't that great, but it was pretty interesting. But they just made
Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah,
it was dumb name. It didn't.
Remember who named that as his favorite? Yours truly.
Yeah. But they just made another movie about it, and it's getting ready to come out here in the next few weeks or month or something. So should be pretty interesting.
Like a big budget?
I think this one was...
Or like a straight-to-TV?
Straight-to-TV, but a
Lifetime
lot better than... Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they do straight-to-TV nowadays is
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
different than back in the 80s and shit.
Consider like Game of Thrones is straight-to-TV. I mean,
right.
Really
I don't think it's Game of Thrones quality, but it's probably,
I'm sure there's a couple dragons at least.
Yeah.
Dragon
Who knows?
too.
A dragon or a superhero?
No spoilers. No spoilers. We just finally watched season 1.
Ooh.
Oh my god!
Because it came to Redbox.
You're almost caught up to me and Helen.
We just got done watching through all the seasons right before the new episode started the other day. Like in 2 days, we did like this condensed Game of Thrones because like the new season starts on Sunday. We got to do everything right now.
And what sucks is like you're catching all these bits and pieces of like the current season. We're like, fuck, now we already know we already know that these people are going to be there, this is going to happen.
These people are in it?
Huh?
Theyese people are really in this new one?
They're those people and these people.
Are they still
Together.
fighting and or liking each other?
Yes.
It was one of the things when we watched the
6.
very first episode again, and it does the opening credits. We're like, okay, how many people in those opening credits are no longer on the show?
Right.
Like majority of them, like 75% of the names are no longer on the show at this point.
That was one of my favorite things about that series. My most favorite and least favorite, I should say, is their willingness to kill off a very main
Dude,
character.
exactly, because like it's not like we boycotted it, but we don't have HBO, so like we never caught it.
Yeah.
And you catch it on Facebook all the time, and that's what everybody says. Like, don't fall in love with a character because the guy that you like, or the guy or girl, whoever you like, they're gonna die.
Well, you know,
Or going to turn super evil and you're going to end up hating them.
Yeah. There's only 11 episodes left.
Yeah, something like that. It's,
6 this year and 6 next year.
Oh, no
Well,
shit.
5 this year now because they just had the first one, and
Yeah.
then 6 next year. That's
It's
it.
only 6 a year.
No,
no,
it used to
was,
be.
it was 10 a season. All the seasons up. All first 6 seasons, it was 10 episodes, and then this last one they split in half
Just to extend it. So basically, they had 12 episodes left, so they spread it into 2 years.
into 2 years.
Milk it.
Yeah.
Speaking of splitting seasons, I know you've watched The Ranch. Anybody else watch The Ranch?
Mm-mm.
I have not. I've heard it too.
So good.
It's fucking awesome. It's a great show, but I just watched the most recent season, and doesn't it seem like they probably recorded that entire thing in one sitting?
It sure
Because
seems that way, yeah.
there's no break. Literally, like, the way it'll work out is this one ends like, so the other day I was at the store, and then the next one starts, and I bought a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
It's literally that
Did you see
instant.
Shirley?
There's
Like
no break.
mid-sentence?
Not quite
quite
that bad, but it's literally, there's no break. It's not like...
It's not like a totally different day.
Where
or
most
whatever.
sitcoms, they're like, dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
and then we bring you back to this is what happened last week. No, it literally...
It'll end up with Ashton Kutcher at a door, and it'll get shut in his face, and the next episode is him walking off the porch and getting in his truck.
Right.
Oh, no shit.
Like,
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
one of the most recent ones I just watched, for an example, is like they're walking toward, almost exactly what he's talking about. They're walking towards the door, and they're kind of like kissing. And then as they're getting to the door, it stops, and then the very next episode, they finish walking through the door still doing the same kiss kind of thing. So it's literally that very instant. There's no break. There's no... You know what happened last week, but a day or two has progressed. It's the very second. Mm-hmm. It literally looks like they shot the whole thing in one sitting and then chopped it up a little bit.
Please, Netflix, especially with shows that are only on you. After the first episode, maybe
Netflix
2.
like it's a person.
Yeah.
It is, Mr. Netflix.
It is in my heart, goddammit.
You don't have to play the theme song and intro to every episode. People binge watch. They don't want to hear that same version of "Don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys."
Right.
Just let it play as like one.
You know what's
full
weird is
movie
a
or
lot of the
something.
shows I watch on Netflix, it actually starts after the opening credits when I go to the next one.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was commenting that on my
Really?
wife the other day. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that it just like skips right past the opening
Did you
credits
say
on
you were
this.
commenting
He's
on
got
your
Netflix
wife?
Gold
Yeah, I was
over
commenting
here.
on
He's
her.
got
I
like
comment
something.
on her all the time.
That's why I really like the.
But it just like, yeah, like the next one would start right after the opening credits. Unless there was like a pre-credit scene.
Well, like, The Ranch kind of fucks you like regular television. They have like a
little
5-minute
bit.
intro, and then they throw in the
The
music
credits,
and
yeah.
shit.
See,
So when
that's-
you're using the Netflix shit to fast forward, it's really difficult to catch, so you just end up having to fucking sit through it. And what do you think The Ranch pays in licensing for music?
Oh my god, a lot.
they
Because
have really good
every
music on there?
episode has at least one right now fucking top 40
Oh,
type.
really?
Or, well, it's all country, but one
But
of the...
it's like,
it's
what's
something
legit
that's...
right now.
Yeah.
And if it's not right now playing, it's like George Strait or Garth Brooks or
like
something
a classic.
big. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. But, like, I mean, they played, like...
a lot of Waylon, I think.
one of those, like, Body Like a Back Road or one of those songs that's literally super popular right this very minute was in one of the episodes. And they play it like it's kind of goes into the ending credits, so while they're dealing with their drama, it's playing in the background, and then they stop the drama and go to
And
the
it
credits, and it
continues.
plays the whole song in its entirety during the credits kind of thing. So, but I mean, it's literally right now super fucking gigantic songs that are, you know, their albums are like a year old at best kind of thing. So I bet you that shit.
Producer or something that's hooked into the fucking.
Well, that's
music
true. It
biz
could be
and-
like the same
Yeah.
company or some
Well,
shit
yeah,
too.
they're just.
Well, I mean,
swapping-
because like with the
Swapping
licensed song
genres.
stuff, I always felt like it goes both ways. Yeah, you're letting them use your song for this movie, but this movie's gonna put your song out there too.
Yeah.
Right.
like when you have an iconic scene come up and there's a song playing, you're like,
Remember back in the day when like the soundtracks were way more important, you know, than
Right.
they
Yeah.
are now. Like,
Yeah, it used to be major songs. Like you'd make an album, and let's put this album in our movie.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's mostly just ambient
they're
music.
grabbing, you know, music from whatever,
Yeah.
you know, old, new, whatever. It's like they don't even, half of them don't even produce like a.
A lot of the soundtracks were like music that was written for that movie too. It wasn't
Right.
just shit that
you
kind
don't
of
see
fit.
songs that weren't written from that were are written specifically for a movie anymore like you used
Yeah.
to. There used to be like 2 or 3
Unless it's,
tracks
like, orchestra
by
stuff
a
that
major
you don't know.
artist
Right.
that he wrote that song for that movie, and you know.
Think about like how much sooner Bobby Brown would have been dead if Ghostbusters 2 wouldn't have made him famous again.
Right?
I mean, seriously, that song was huge, and it
Yeah.
was there was no instance where that song was fitting outside of that movie. It was
Right.
the Ghostbusters theme song. You know, I mean, that's
But I mean, think about like the opening song for Caddyshack, made for that movie.
yeah.
It's all right. I mean, yeah, that was
And now
made for
most
that
people-
movie.
Loggins.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was the
so
he
good.
was the fucking movie song
Movie song
machine.
guru.
for
And
a
damn
while
near everybody
there.
in the world knows that song,
Yeah.
but half the people that know it probably don't know
Who,
the
don't know
who,
that it's
who
good.
can't hear
Yeah.
Highway to the
Caddyshack,
Danger
yeah.
Zone without thinking
Oh.
of fucking Top
Yeah.
Gun?
Right?
Like,
Oh.
That's a really
Definitely.
good example.
And
dun, 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 and you're already thinking of planes in the air. Like, you know what I mean?
What about movies like Snoop
watched-
Dogg's Tales from the Hood, where the soundtrack was way better than the movie?
Right.
That happened a lot.
Yeah.
in
Menace to
80s.
Society.
No,
Yeah.
No Society was a good movie.
that was a good movie.
I actually like that movie too.
But there's some movies out there that like it might be a mediocre
Oh,
movie,
dog,
but
man.
a certain
Oh, dog.
song comes on and you're like, oh, that's a good song.
And a
in
lot
it,
of times
at
they'd
least.
release the soundtrack before the movie, so you couldn't wait to see the movie to see where they put the songs and shit
Oh yeah,
too.
how big the soundtrack releases used to. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember going down and buying the freaking CD of multiple movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like I'd flip through the little CD flippers we used to have, little plastic sleeves, and like half of them were movie soundtracks because that's where all the good hits were.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if it was playing on the radio, it was in a movie somewhere.
Celine Dion for Titanic.
Yep,
No.
but as a made for, she made
Oh,
the song
man,
for
yeah,
Titanic.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Isn't
not
it
a big
amazing?
Celine Dion fan
Yeah.
either, but that was one of the biggest songs ever.
Ah, it's
Oh,
huge.
that song was everywhere.
Isn't it amazing? Not just movies, but anytime you hear a song that's been in something, you can't hear it without thinking of that commercial or that TV show or that.
Oh,
movie
yeah.
or
What was
whatever.
the one Whitney Houston did for The Bodyguard?
Oh,
Like,
Uh-huh.
you hear
Go
that?
on?
Yeah,
No, that was
Titanic.
I Will Always Love You. The
Oh, it's-
Dolly
yeah.
Parton cover.
There you
Dolly
go, the
Parton
Dolly
song,
Parton
yeah. Yeah, no.
No, not so much.
It was New Jack City.
I think Bruce Willis was her bodyguard in that.
Speaking of New Jack City, I finally watched The Split that Brian talked about.
Yes,
an episode or
the
two
one that
ago.
you fuckers kept interrupting me as I'm trying to
That was the one
get
with
to
the blonde chick.
Yes.
No, but it
No.
was
No.
with Bruce
No,
Willis.
there's no Bruce
Okay.
Willis though.
The fucking movie was good.
It
Was
was,
it?
I'm telling you.
It was. I've been kind of burnt down on M. Night Shyamalan on Ding Dong movies, but
Like
that one was
it
actually.
was not one of his normal like
It still had the whole twisted plot thing. It was more like his old movies than his new movies. Is the best way I'd describe it. So I actually liked it.
That's freaky. We've got someone wanting to be in our group while we're recording. That's kind of cool.
Oh, just before a buddy of mine he's like, "What's your
Oh, cool.
thing?" And I was like, "We got a group."
Bill? Is it Bill something?
Oh no, this guy was Jim Davey.
Oh, no, that wasn't the name.
Okay.
Carry on.
Then disregard what I just
Disregard.
So anyway,
Rewind.
Split. It was so funny too because I had totally forgotten that was the name of that movie you were talking about.
Oh, speaking
And
of which.
shut up.
No, but they're supposed to be
damn it.
bringing M. Night Shyamalan movies back around and
yeah.
explain themselves and stuff.
It is.
I know I'm stealing Brian's story from
Shut
a while
up.
ago. I'm sorry.
So my kid comes over the other night telling me about that movie. And I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. It didn't ring a bell at first. I'm like, that sounds kind of familiar.
When his
But
kid tells him about it, he'll watch
Right.
it.
Fuck
No,
what
You
Brian
tell him,
said.
fuck Brian.
no, what
If
made
when you're out
no,
there,
no,
fuck, blah blah blah
no,
blah.
so
blah.
here's what happened. I had put it in my my little watch list on the Redbox app, but I haven't been to Redbox in
After
forever.
she did, of course, not after I did.
No. When you did. So that's what confused me at first because I didn't remember that whole conversation. And then I went to put it in to my wish list so I could watch it later, and it was already there. And I was like, why the fuck is that already there? And then I open it and I see the pictures and I read the cast and I'm like, oh!
That's Brian's movie.
Bruce Willis.
I forgot about that.
I had totally forgotten about it and I was so confused by the thing being in my wish list. And
It was cool. It was cool. Like you said, up until the last 5 minutes, it was just like, I mean, it was a good movie, but like the last 5 minutes made it like very cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. But it was enough to hold your interest. It wasn't boring or anything like that. It was just...
Well, now that Danny's talked about it, I might have to watch it.
Fuck you too.
I might too. Has anybody been watching The Mist?
No.
Yes.
I have not.
No.
I'm one episode behind.
Me too. And are you really, really enjoying it? Because I'm not so far.
I am.
Really?
I mean, it doesn't have it's not as good a quality as TV series are now. It's more like an older TV series in my mind, but other than that, I like it.
They're a few mil shy of the CGI budget that...
Yeah. I'm not saying I think it's bad by any means, but...
It's not hitting you the way you thought it would?
It's not gripping.
Refresh my memory. Is that the one it's like a remake on the movie?
It's more of a remake of the story that the movie was made from, but yeah.
Was that a movie or was it a miniseries?
No, they did a movie.
It was a movie.
The movie with where he shot his family at the end?
Mm-hmm.
That was The Mist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was a Stephen King
Spoilers.
But, yeah,
Just edit that part out.
I'm really, really hoping that The Mist is like the original
That's that part
stories, where it's
we're back.
big, crazy creatures. So far, it's just animals going nuts and killing.
I think you might be more than one episode behind then.
I swear I'm just one, like the moth guy was the last
Yeah, that's
one
what I was going to... I didn't want to say that and spoil it for you.
Yeah, but it was just moths.
But he turned into one.
They weirdly popped out of him, but he didn't really turn into one that's going to attack anybody or anything.
But I think that still gives a hint as to what it's going to
I can't
be.
see how a
Maybe.
moth can come out of you, but weirdly.
Well,
It's not the normal way a moth comes out of you.
Like the Green Mile where he's just like...
Yeah, and it's not like Candyman with the bees and stuff.
Well, now that
It's
we've
a little
gotten that
different.
far, I might as well... He turns into a moth, but
Like
he
the
instantly
fly?
dies.
Like...
No, he instantly dies.
Yeah.
Like, he literally grows
And it's-
wings,
yeah, it's moth
turns
wings
into
like
a
an angel.
moth, 8 million moths come out of him, and then he dies.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, holy shit, he's going to turn into this giant moth and kill everybody. And then he dies from it. Or at least so we think. We haven't totally seen him. But it's... So I think that gives...
Wouldn't you have to go to the cocoon
Spoilers.
phase first? Like, he couldn't instantly...
He wasn't a caterpillar.
Yeah, but he would have to go be into a pod, you know, and he spent some time.
It's magic,
his
dude.
human form into a pod and then come out of moth.
Yes.
And
You're
there's
You're
definitely...
overthinking this, bro. We're talking about a dude turning into a moth in the first
I
place.
mean,
You're
it's
overthinking
a complete life cycle.
And they're definitely already super strongly hinting that it was a government experiment failed.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was in the movie.
Right, so I
It's
think
like
they're... Basically, they tried to make it a weapon and it didn't work.
They tried to go to another dimension.
Yeah, they
or
tore
some
a hole
shit.
in the time-space continuum or into a different
on
dimension
the
or
top of some
something.
mountain or something.
Yeah.
Don't you hate when they do
But
that?
Fucking...
in the series, they're alluding to the fact that it might be a reoccurring thing in this area. Like 200 years apart or 100 years or something like that. So
Oh, fuck.
Crap. We
it
did
might-
it again.
Every
It
so
might be-
often a dimensional doorway opens and some
it
shit.
might have just been at the same time that the military was messing around, or they might have done something to
Accidentally
expedite
triggered
it or
it
something.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, like it's not their fault that it happens. It just happens and they were a part of it.
Right.
I
Yeah,
fucking-
like
That's-
maybe
that's what I'm
maybe they
taking
were
from it.
researching it. Like, this shit keeps happening here. Let's figure out what's going on, and then accidentally opens it themselves.
I'm more
Or they were
getting the
just
hint
trying
that,
to
like...
catch it when it was going to
Yeah.
start.
I'm more getting the hint that it was like... We know this is possible. Let's see if we can turn it into a weapon. Oh, fuck, that didn't work. That's what I'm
Right.
kind of gathering from it. Because, without going into a lot of detail, the military people show a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely their
like,
fault.
yeah.
Or
As
they
as
knew it
they
was
did in the
coming
movie,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
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 They didn't warn people of it. Something along those
yeah.
lines.
So that's kind of the take I'm
They
getting
had
so
some
far.
idea that some shit was going to go down and didn't tell anybody about it, and now they feel
Yeah,
bad.
I'm guessing that they made it happen, trying to turn something into a weapon or some shit, and fucked it up. Screwed the poochie.
It wasn't even a good poochie.
It might have been. They just didn't do it right.
Yeah. Speaking of mists, how'd the racing go?
Segue. First off, welcome to the Aimless Adventure Podcast.
Yeah. Welcome back.
How'd the racing go?
He was in San Diego. There's fog.
There
there.
was
It's kind
some
of the
mist.
same.
There was fog. San Diego has mist.
Oh, no, I-
They have
Mist-ish.
missed.
Mist-ish.
Did anybody turn
Wasn't
into a
flying,
moth?
You might have accidentally
No moths.
missed on
Well, I know
Escaping my
Brian
body.
missed a road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give our listeners
No, yeah.
the
So
lowdown of what
this past
happened.
week, took
New
my family.
segment.
Yeah, took my family to vacation in San Diego, and
What were our invites?
Right?
It's
We could have covered this for
It's
you.
an
Like
exclusive club.
media.
It's an
We
exclusive
could have
club.
been your exclusive media coverage.
Schultz's only.
That's fine. I don't want to be part of that club.
But
I'm good.
it had just so happened, people say I did it on purpose, but it just so happened that while I was there was races going on there at
Races going on during your vacation.
Imagine
Wow. And you just so happen to have a car to race in.
little track up in the hills, outskirts of San Diego.
It's like taking your golf clubs when you go on vacation. Who knows when you might pick
Right.
up
I
9 or
like, yeah, I'm
18.
going to Hawaii. Let me take my golf
It just
clubs with
happens
me,
to be
'cause,
right there. I mean, what are you
I
gonna
might
do?
run into a golf course.
Fuck. So I raced and ended up winning, and in my post-race glow.
There's a set of certain stipulations
We have
that a
to-
racer has to do.
we have to
Post
go.
race glow.
There's a tech area where the inspectors, go over your car, and we're gonna get weighed and all this and that. Well, this track in San Diego, and I've been to a lot of tracks. I mean, I've been all over the country, and I mean, I've at least 100. And by far, these have legitimately the most complicated pit system I've ever been to, because it's not like a racetrack with a big flat area around it where there's, guys parking their trucks and trailers. Like, this is in like a mountainside where they have like, I'm not shitting you, at least 6
Pikes Peak
different
to get to
elevation changes, and there'll be like a clearing where like 4 cars here, and then like 2 cars here, and then, it's so fucking scattered, and fucking roads all over the place. It's legitimately confusing. And I come off the track, and like my helmet was rolling around on the decking, and I fucking, grabbed it to keep it from rolling off, and, because it's a pain in the ass to have to stop and get out of your car or whatever. So like, and I fucking, and it's not a well-lit fucking spot, and I kind of got a little confused. And so I kind of went on a road and going through, and I never stopped. And this is a stipulation, like, the spirit of the rule is to prevent drivers from, after the race, going to their pits, making changes, adding weight, subtracting something, making changes that would affect
Come up on tech
whether
or
they're
whatever.
legal or not.
Yeah.
So, like, when you
Okay.
finish the race, you have to weigh a certain amount.
Yeah.
And if you happen to have added something that's cheating, if you snuck into the pits before the end,
take
you
it
would take off
That's-
that cheating
That's
device.
that's the spirit of
Right.
the rule. That's what they're trying to prevent. But basically what happened was I never stopped moving from the time I left the track until as I was trying to get to the tech area, one of the officials comes riding up on his quad and comes literally in front of me, and I stop, and he does this, and I do it back to him, and I turned around him and went down to the tech area. And then
I'm fucking lost in the mountains.
and then the one guy was standing in front of me and wouldn't let me get on the scales, and I'm like, "What's the deal?" And he's like, "We're gonna have to DQ you. You went to your pits first." And I'm like, "I didn't go to my fucking pits first. I went the wrong way, but I never stopped moving." I was like, find me one fucking witness that will say that I stopped. For one. Second, that anybody touched my fucking race car. In the meanwhile, I was like, I get what you guys are fucking complaining about, but the spirit of the rule, you guys, and literally the official that made the final decision, he's like, "Look, man, if we let you get away with it, there's going to be guys that complain." And that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad that the people that get beat would rather see me lose the main event just so they can gain a position than to be like, "You know what, he didn't fucking cheat, just let him fucking scale."
Right.
But for them to have to do that to prevent, because I guess it's happened in the past, and I mean, it happens all over, and I get it, but it's incredibly frustrating
when you
to
lose
know
a
that
win like
I didn't fucking cheat, and I raced my ass off. I started in the back. I didn't do that great in my heat race because I, started in the back of my heat race, and they...
Because he didn't cheat in the heats.
Yeah. So, I mean, I sucked in fucking, so I started in the back of the main event, and I fucking had to pass all them guys to get to the front, and legitimately fucking won the race and had a legal car, but because I took the wrong
Because you
fucking
got lost.
because I took the wrong road to get to Tech.
Yeah, you
On
took
a
that-
track that you don't really know.
Yeah, on a track that I go to once or twice a year, you know. And they, like I said, they don't have signs up that say Tech this way or fucking. I mean, they're just like, oh yeah, just fucking hang a left and you're there. And it's like, dude, there's fucking 12 roads back here. Man. What fucking, you know.
At one point, he hears dueling banjos.
It's. I'm not shitting you, man. It is fucking. It is. It is. It is a very primitive fucking setup there.
And like
and
as
I'm not bagging on their track. I mean, the people there are great. I love racing there, you know. But it's just a shitty situation. And of course, you know, I was on the losing end of the deal. So.
And a lot of tracks I've seen at least, you literally typically when you exit the track, you can't help but go to Tech. I mean, it's usually you automatically follow the flow and you end up there. It's almost impossible to turn away from it.
Right.
Like a lot of tracks.
Like I said, 99% of the tracks out there in the country, you have the racetrack and then the area around, you know, of course, on the front stretch, you know, the grandstands.
Right.
But either off the back stretch or off one of the corners, you know, there's a big, wide fucking open area where all the pits are. You know, regardless of how they line up. But it's a nice, big, flat, open area. And you can see from one end to the other. You know what I mean? It's very, like I said, I haven't been to another track where it's even remotely close to the setup.
Typically, you could stand on top of your truck and see every single
exactly. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that there's at least 6 elevation differences of, you know, like the lowest of the low to the fucking highest of the high.
Like there's some people in this little valley over here. Put some dudes up on the prairie.
It's
on
not,
the side.
and, you know, and there's some
There's
people
a meadow over there for a couple cars.
It's not. It is fucking crazy. And there's people, some up there that have, you know, like permanent pit spots where they have like an RV set up and whatnot, and they're just, you know, like they cleared off their own little space of fucking mountainside.
They came
where they're like,
one weekend.
this is our
Came
fucking
up one
spot.
weekend with
Yeah,
some chainsaws and a little.
don't even
little
think of parking
digger.
here. I mean, it's pretty. It is what it is. And like I said, you know, in my post that I put on Facebook, is like, you know what, it is what it is. It's too late to change it.
Yep.
You know, and it's just. It sucks that it happened to me,
it's
or it
sad.
sucks that it happened at all, like
Yeah.
to anybody. I mean, it's you don't.
It's just sad that cheaters don't prosper anymore, man.
Yeah,
I feel
man,
for you.
It's hard. It's hard
Well,
out here,
I
It's
guess
hard out here for a pimp.
right?
Hey, you know what haters are gonna hate, man?
Of
I
course.
guess if they really are enforcing that rule for every single person, no matter what, it makes sense.
And they said, and that's what their excuse to me was like, oh yeah, we just DQ'd a local here like 2-3 weeks ago for doing the same thing. It's like, well, if your locals can't even fucking
I
find
was thinking the same thing.
don't you think you should put a
Put up
sign
a fucking
up?
sign.
Put a
At this
sign up
point-
for fuck's sakes. I'll buy the motherfucker.
Yellow
I was gonna say-
footsteps leading.
Next time you show up at that track, you should show up with a sign.
A fucking sign that says "Tech this way."
Go
you know
put
what?
up yourself. You got
I
a little
fucking
postal digger out.
I absolutely will. Mark my fucking words.
That would be funny as
Absolutely
shit.
That'd be
will.
funny.
Out there
as hell.
before the race, they just see you out there. Like
Yep.
you pull up in your car, you stop, take off your helmet, you get out with a hammer.
Absolutely. I will fucking, as I pull in with my pickup, I will stop and with T-posts and everything.
What would be even funnier
Right
is if you
after-
stop and take it back out on your way out.
Fucking hey, repo that bitch.
Like
That's
it's-
my tech sign.
Like it's only for you.
Right after that, a couple signs. Listen to Aimless Adventures, like the old school
Like the-
advertising
Some
billboards.
Route 66 shit. Oh, that would be great. Shave with.
So yeah, and it's just been one of those years for me. Like I said, I race every weekend, and I've run well quite a bit, but I've just had weird shit happen to me. Like, I mean, I got DQ'd in Yuma.
Didn't you get spun out in your last race, or one of the last races?
Same race he's talking about.
Oh, is it?
Which one?
The one
Yeah, that's
Just
the one
last
you recovered?
weekend?
Yeah.
That's the one where you.
He's
spun
talking about
out
the
and-
video you posted up
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Oh
where you
yeah,
spun.
yeah. Well, yeah. See, 'cause they have a rule there that, and it's kind of weird that
where the victim
not
takes
all
the,
track.
That
Yeah.
more people don't use this rule.
Yes, it's a good rule.
And it just shared that video. Anybody wants to watch it?
Yeah,
it's on the Facebook
it's
page
basically
now.
you know, if you get taken out and it's kind of an obvious, you know,
pit maneuver.
well,
Wasn't your obviously
yeah,
their-
obviously not your fault. Like
Yeah.
If you're
they-
definitely the victim.
the person that gets spun out gets their spot back, and the aggressive driver gets put to the back, which is a fucking great rule.
Yeah, it is.
Whereas like around here, it's almost backwards. It's
You
like
get spun out, you get
you
stuck
get-
in the
if
spot you ended up.
The rule around here is if you come to a complete stop under yellow, you go to the back, regardless.
Wow.
Even if you're stopping to avoid hitting a wreck that's already there.
Just keep moving.
That's basically what you have to do. Like they're saying, oh well, you know,
Go
you
over
just
the bank.
you do the smart thing and stop, and it's like, well, you're gonna put me to the back, and not only that, you're gonna put me further back behind those people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they were in front of you when they wrecked, and then you stop to avoid them, well, they're still gonna be in front of you. You're just all gonna be in the back now.
Right.
I mean, it's a what they've tried to do is literally one of the promoters come up with that idea because what it did was it eliminated the guesswork of trying to figure out
Who's at fault?
what happened and pointing fingers and people complaining about favoritism, whatever.
It
So
probably does make the night go a
They
lot
just
quicker.
basically said, it's a blanket statement that doesn't always work in just about any fucking genre, but it's a blanket statement that if you come to a stop on the track, you go to the back, and
That
it
rhymed.
just sucks.
You're like a poet.
Didn't know it.
Yeah, wow,
No.
that's weird.
So
It continuates.
when you
I'd write it down and show it.
Oh.
you locally at least you race in a series for points, right?
Yeah, I'm leading the Arizona State points. I'm not leading any track because just about every track I've had like bad luck, like bad nights.
So you're not necessarily winning at that track, but you're placing high enough at all of them.
Yeah,
that you're,
yeah. I mean, I do pretty good. I mean, like I said, I've done it for a long time, and I've kind of,
Gotten good?
I'm okay at it. I mean, I'm not great, but like I said, it's all for fun. But
But you're consistently doing well enough that
Yeah.
your overall points are ahead of everybody else. Because
Yeah.
somebody else will have a great night, but the rest of the time they're kind of racing like shit.
well, yeah, and like I said, I've had a lot of bad nights myself, but I don't miss any races. Where there's some people, they'll take a weekend off or they won't race a certain track or whatever. It was like I race every Saturday night at least.
How big is the circuit that you can get points from?
I can get points from any track within my western region, which is Arizona, California, the western half of New Mexico, Colorado. Basically, like draw a line, like straight up I-25, roughly. West of that is the western region.
So you did get points for racing in.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
would have.
Well,
at
I
least.
Yeah.
of course get California state points, but I also get regional and national points. You get every time you race, you get track points, state points, regional and national points. And so, I get regional. Like if I went to say go race in Kansas, for example, I wouldn't get anything because you
Besides a trophy.
Yeah, I mean, well, and chicks. And but no, that's the thing. You have to at least be in your region to get any kind of points of any kind. And it just kind of I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword because they kind of did it to prevent some of the money guys to
just doing the whole country.
Well, yeah. Well, it kind of no. What it did is there was a while back where like some of the guys that could afford it would drive out of state to avoid competition. The strong competition at their local track,
also
and go race
weak
at some.
tracks.
They go, yeah, some.
So they'd
called
shop.
cherry picking.
So
Yeah.
they'd shop the competition, be like, "Oh, there's a
Yes.
bunch of scroats at this track, and we'll go beat their
Yes,
asses."
exactly.
Kind of thing.
Get those, yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly. That's it. They're trying to prevent that.
Well, that's a good thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, other than like the heart of
Camping the
the
new
racing
spawn point,
world for
basically.
us is like Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Like that's the heart of where.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's like it's very
Level one
popular in
quest
those
givers.
states.
So if you go to Texas for some big weekend shootout and you miss a points race in Arizona, you could potentially hurt yourself. By
Exactly.
going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've had offers. I got a buddy over in Texas that's like, dude, come over, fly into Dallas, and you can race Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and fly home Sunday night and be back Monday morning for work. And I'm like, fuck, I would, but it would do me no good. I mean, I would just be doing it for fun. I mean, I can't get points in
And you
Texas.
have just as much fun over here and potentially make some money too.
Right? Yeah.
That makes sense.
like you said, it's a double-edged sword. It prevents some of the, cherry picking, but it also prevents, like for us here in Arizona, like our tracks, like literally our tracks are now shut down. There won't be an Arizona track race again until September.
It's just too fucking hot.
It is. I mean, fuck. And thank God that they did. Well, actually, no, I take that back. We're racing the 29th up in Peoria. They have a back-to-school race where they give away a bunch of backpacks and stuff. Canyon Speedway's back to school.
Is that more for your comfort and safety, or is it more because nobody will come out and watch?
A lot of it is the fan count. I mean, and
who wants to go out at 117 degree temperature and watch a race?
Exactly.
And if nobody's there to watch and spend money, there's not going to be any money.
Exactly.
I completely understand.
Anytime they give me a microphone, I always thank the fans, because without them, I mean, they wouldn't be putting the races on. They would not. I mean, they wouldn't be, like I said, they cancel them. So, I mean, that's why we race hardcore January, February, March, till May.
Hardcore, full frontal penetration.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. While the winter visitors are here, and because they just boost their fan counts big time.
And it's cold, down to like 75 or whatever.
Yes.
Nice.
Sweater weather.
And I'm not complaining. I mean, the shit of it is like I try to tell people to in the cold months when we race to like pay attention to how the drivers are, like when we walk around in our fire suits, how comfortable we are, and everybody else is like shivering with fucking like 4 layers of jackets and beanies and shit. Whereas like I can walk around in my fire suit comfortable and not be cold when it's 50 degrees outside or whatever, 40.
You mean the fire suit like insulates?
And so I tell them, I was like, okay, pay attention when it's fucking 110 outside and we still have to wear those same fucking fire suits, of how goddamn uncomfortable they are and fucking how miserable it is. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's like putting on like the moving blankets, how heavy they are. You know what I mean? It's like wrapping yourselves in one of those. I mean, it's another one of those things where it's like it's great for keeping you from burning, but
and then you put an engine.
Yes, a nice 220 degree heater at your feet with no insulation. I mean, we don't do that shit. There's no. I mean, we have like what they call a firewall, but I mean, it's literally
sheet metal,
a super thin piece of aluminum. It's crazy. So, like I said, it's fun, and so that's how my last weekend went, and I guess I can give my 2 cents of racing info in from now on. If you guys don't hate it,
That just sucks that you had to take the DQ, man.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, I really hope that I can get back there, because I got some really good fans over there at that San Diego track. Because I go there, like I said, a couple times a year, and there's awesome people that we work with over there. And I really would like to pick off another win, just so I can get the mic in my hand and explain to them what happens. Like, I'm not a cheater.
I didn't get lost this time.
So do you because of that, do you really want to go back like Saturday?
I would like to, and that's the thing. They're racing on the 29th, but I got to race up at Canyon because of the state points still.
Right.
I'm gonna try to. I think I can make at least one more race over there. They race every other week there at the Verona track.
Look, I think we can fit in one more family vacation.
That's right, yeah. Babe, you want to go to the beach?
Yeah, no shit. I'm sure it's hard to
control. That's literally a rhetorical question at our house. It's like, yeah.
So, and if you happen to go to any of the races and see L8 farm boy running around the track, find him. He'll take a picture with you. Have a good conversation.
Absolutely. I love the fans. I love spending time with the fans.
Maybe we'll go with you and flag that corner.
Come on out, yeah, and like stand where I need to turn to go to the tent.
some big neon sign.
Big old glow sticks.
The guys guiding the airplanes at the
airport with the sticks.
They would get the job done.
Oh, sorry.
He's gonna be out there spinning the sign like he's on the corner trying
to sell me a house.
Some shit.
The car you race, I mean, it's class wise, it's pretty high up there, right?
It's probably. I mean, if you really, really get into it, I mean, it's a pretty long ladder from quarter midgets to NASCAR.
Without getting into professional shit, there's not a lot in between, right?
We're probably 2/3 of the way up the ladder. I mean, as far as that.
Did you start racing lower classes, or did you
did
kind of
not.
jump right into that
I'm
shit?
one of the few, honestly, very few drivers do it this way. Most drivers start out
Stock cars. And...
Actually, a lot of the good ones start out in quarter midgets when they're 4 and 5 years old, like go karts with cages on them, and then from there progress up. But I didn't get into racing until I was in high school, and fell in love with it, and fell in love with the modifieds, and I always knew that if I bought, like say a hobby stock, for example, like just how I am as a person, I would pour a bunch of money into that factory stock, making it look cool and run good or whatever, and I would never save enough to
move up
to be able to afford. I mean, a modified. So I put it in my head. It's like, don't fucking buy anything but a modified. One will come along that you can afford, and sure enough, it did. I think it was 2005 or 6 when I first bought my first car, and I bought a turnkey race car. It was.
So you literally didn't have to fuck with it. Just go to the track and
the first practice
spray paint
session.
your number on it.
It actually had numbers.
Oh, really?
That's kind of the funny story of why I am.
You added the L, didn't you?
Yeah, my number is L8, and that's part of the story is because my first race car. Nowadays, it's all vinyl graphics or complete wraps. You know what I mean? Like it's all stickers.
Right.
Whereas like. About the time that I got into it, the mid-2000s was the tail end of when they would paint numbers on. And the first car I bought had painted numbers on. They were already there. I mean, and it was a body, was perfect. Guy just redid the car, had it race ready,
number 8.
Just didn't race it. I wanted to be number 5 because that was always my, I don't know, when we're kids, you pick a favorite number. I liked 5. My birthday's in May, so the 5th month, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, 5, I'll dig it. And so I was too much of a cheap ass to like
have it
removed or repainted. So I'm just like,
why bother?
Fuck
if
it,
it's
I'll
good?
be 8. And the very first race I went to was kind of a big race, one of the end of the year deals, and there were already 2 or 3 other 8 numbered cars there. And so when I checked in, the lady was like, "You're going to have to add a letter to it."
Something.
And as a joke, I put a little duct tape L in front of the 8 because I was late.
Almost always, it's just throw an X underneath the number.
Yeah, exactly.
A little duct tape X.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was just being a smart ass. Like, I had to put a number on, or I had to put a letter on because I'm here late. So L8.
And that's not the only thing he's late to. It's habitual.
He just needs to get that shit tattooed on his forehead.
It's
the most fitting name or number.
It is. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. And so, like I said, that's kind of how it all got started. And as I went, even when I didn't have to put the duct tape number on, the sticky material from the duct tape, because we use that racer tape, it's got real sticky shit on there.
100-mile-an-hour tape.
So yeah, and even if I didn't have it on there, the dirt would stick to that, and so there'd be a little dirty L. You'd still see it, you know what I mean? So I was just
I got a dirty yellow when we were in Mexico. That was awesome.
When I actually had to replace the body and put real graphics on, I was like, fuck it, I'll be the L8. And then,
but that sets you. I think it sets you so far apart
well,
from
and
everybody
that's the
else.
thing. And by the 3rd time when I actually got my first real, wrap for graphics, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking go against the grain here, and I'm gonna make the letter big and the number small, instead of every car out there in existence has the number big and the letter small.
Usually it's like a 2-foot tall letter and a 4-inch tall letter.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm going to be fucking different. I want to stick out. And so I'm going to be the fucking L8. With
And
it
really does help too, because just like watching that video that you posted from the last weekend, it's not like the highest quality in the world.
Completely
but
different
it's
numbering
you can
sequence.
pick
super easy to pick
Right.
yours out just because of that.
Right.
So
What I like
definitely
about it
works.
is it's usually 22C, 55X.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is L8.
Yeah.
And it's a word. and it's a pun. So, I mean, it's
if
just...
that's not me in a fucking nutshell, I don't know what is, man.
It's perfect.
I think it's cool, but so how long did that first car last you?
The transmission lasted the first practice session before I blew that up.
You're supposed to shift.
Was that the transmission's fault? Or
No, it was because they run. Sometimes they run what's basically a power glide, like a
high and low.
Yeah, automatic transmission, and they're not built for that. I mean, when you put them in a race car, the bands snap and whatnot. So shortly after that, I put like an actual racing transmission in. But that was a yellow car. I'll bring a picture into that thing. I got a picture of it. It was like yellow and white, and I had that thing for 2 years before I sold that off and upgraded, and thus began the.
What else did you have to
cycle.
replace? Like same engine and everything?
Oh yeah, I had
did you have to replace everything except for the body?
We redid the rear suspension 2 or 3 different times. I mean, it was
How much?
Completely different car by the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How much shit do you take with you on an out of town race? I mean, do you go as far as motors and transmissions?
I do. So if I have a spare motor and I'm going to like a multi-day race, like
the big Vegas show.
Yeah,
or something
like
like
Vegas,
that?
for example, I absolutely will take a fucking spare motor because you'll have time for it to be usable. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Swapping them. I mean, although there are guys that can do it in a one-night event, but like, it's more for like, if I blow up the first night or whatever, I've got the next day to prepare.
If you blow up on Friday night, you can probably be racing by Saturday night.
Yeah, you could spend, get up early on Saturday and swap the motor out and be ready to go again for Saturday night. But I always I keep a spare transmission. I try to have most of the bolt-on front suspension, upper lower control arms, steering parts, springs. I've got a plethora of spare shocks, all different valves. Just like I said, I'm kind of.
I can only imagine what racing suspension parts cost because just regular application suspension parts are freaking expensive.
It's pricey. Like our rear.
Some of that shit's a lot more basic than a regular everyday car too, though. To a certain extent.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a control arm is it's a triangle with Heim joints.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean it's
there's nothing. There's very little electronics. Like that's why I kind of like the modifieds. They're a very simple running machine, but the complication is in the suspension. Getting the suspension geometry working for you and your driving style.
Keeping that left front tire down in the turn.
Yes, exactly. I mean, just a lot of different adjustments can be made.
Tweaks here
and exactly.
And that's probably your most commonly destroyed parts too, is that front suspension shit. Huh?
Oh yeah, and that's there's. I've had arguments about people who's like, man, I wish they made this stronger, that stronger, and it's like a centerlink, for example. It's a $25-$30 part. It's from a Chevelle. You can get it at any part store, right? And a lot of times when you hit something or somebody hits you, that's what bends and be like, God, I wish we'd make those stronger. And there's guys that actually will weld rebar on them to strengthen them up, and I was like, why in the fuck would you want your center link to be stronger? I was like, for one, that's the absolute cheapest part on the front end of this car. Secondly, a lot of times you can fucking get those things warrantied out at different part stores, right?
And as long as you don't weld on them.
Yeah. I mean,
with a hunk of rebar welded to it.
You find a cool parts guy like Johnny Boy here that'd be like, yeah, fuck, we'll warranty that, and you fucking. You have a free replacement part. Whereas if you beef that up, something
parts boy.
The thing
I've been called worse.
Parts man.
When
I call him parts
when
bitch.
shit happens, like something has got to give. And I would rather have it be something like that's cheap than a $150 spindle or a wheel and tire.
It's funny that you say that. I've had countless guys come in making Jeeps and rock crawlers and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, give me the best goddamn U-joint you got." I'm like, make that the weak point of your drivetrain.
Right.
It's an easy fix. It's cheap. It's small. You can do it on the trail.
Exactly.
It's a lot better than twisting a drive line.
Yeah, you get this badass
That
U-joint.
fucking jumps your drive line.
Yeah.
Or some,
It busts the end out of your transmission.
Yes,
and
Just consider the U-joint a fuse.
Exactly. It's just that same concept.
That
as
makes
a fuse.
perfect sense.
Same concept as a fuse. If something goes wrong, make it this cheap replaceable part than the fucking expensive.
That you could
fuse.
carry 17 of in your truck and not take up room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're basically giving your whole front end a crumple zone.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, and some guys don't get it. I mean, you just like, all right,
Let them not
go
get
ahead,
it.
Beef that bitch up, man.
Yep.
Man.
You wanna
Enjoy
spend the money,
buying
spend the
$150
money.
spindles.
Spend that weight on your there instead of where it's important.
So, how good, or I shouldn't even say that, what, do you have the ability to make money racing? Or is it always going to be a hobby you're paying for? I mean, if you get to the point where if you're coming in top 3 every single race, are you going to be ahead of the game at the end of the year?
I'll put it this way. Not last year, but the year before, 2015, I didn't win a lot of races, but I had a very good year. I want to say in 60 races, I think I had like 45 top 5s. And I legitimately made money
Oh, nice.
that year.
I was
racing.
going to
He's
ask
able
you.
to get a quarter pounder of cheese.
I guess that would also
I
explain.
mean, like I said, it wasn't a lot, but I mean, considering that, there's some people that can make money, but that's because they have a lot of sponsor input. I mean,
'Cause they're not spending the money.
They're spending somebody else's money to go racing, and then they're profiting off the race.
right.
the house's money.
Whereas, like, I'm saying that starting from zero, spending my own money to get there for truck fuel, generator fuel, tires, everything, I scratched out a profit.
And that also probably depends on how lucky you are as to what breaks and doesn't break. Too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's
one more blown motor and that profit.
I mean, that has to be
Exactly.
nice at the end of the year to say, my hobby that I spent all year doing paid for itself.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing about it.
And a lot of it is, good finishes or finishes, not tearing up equipment,
He
not
eats his
being
finishes.
stupid.
Because he's strong to the finishes.
But
His pull-out game is
I
strong.
mean, you get to the upper echelons of, like, say, late model racing or sprint car racing that you see on TV that's also on dirt. Like, the drivers make money. The teams may or may not. I mean, the guys that win a lot, you get to that level, like, the money starts getting split up between the car owners and the drivers and this, that, and the other. But
I was going to ask you, I know if you finish like top 2 or 3 in any individual race, you make money off of that race.
Mm-hmm.
But say you finish 4th or 5th in every single race that you race, and that puts you 1st or 2nd in the state or regional or country at the end in points. Does that come with a cash prize, or is it just a title?
The state one does not. Track championships, you get bonus monies for. Regional championships and national championships, of course, you get paid. Like, national champions make pretty good money.
Really?
Where does that money come from? Are you paying into that purse, or
We,
or the tracks pay into it?
Our sanctioning body, we pay, I want to say, like $110, $120 for a membership fee. So some of the money is generated there. Also, every night that we race, the track, we have basically when we check in at the pit board to say, hey, I'm going to race tonight, we have to pay $10.
Isn't that the robot from Fallout?
What? I don't even know Fallout.
That guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that $10 per driver also gets sent to
gotcha.
IMCA, and then basically just gets funneled back to us or back to us
The winners.
if we do good. You know what I mean? So
Interesting.
Yeah.
and
Good
it's cool. Like for every track championship, they'll send you a jacket, like state champions, regional, national
Members
champions.
only jacket.
Nice.
It's like
or
yeah.
more varsity.
Huh? It's no,
like
it's
a gold Letterman.
It's probably that satin kind of.
Yeah, they're like windbreakers.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a members only. You know.
Yeah.
It's like
Literally.
the jacket Happy Gilmore one.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, it's you have to take it like really serious from an early age, and treat it as such to get to the point of. I mean, it's like any professional sport. Like, you know, there's very few that just kind of fall into being successful. Like, it's hard work your whole life.
Right.
And then, you know, like Kyle Larson, for example, you know, he's at the top of the game. He's kicking ass in NASCAR, and he also still goes back and races dirt. Still kicking ass.
Literally started in like go-karts.
Literally started in go-karts and never stopped, and he's just on that path. And, I mean, that's just how it happens. I mean, you know, every so often, you know, somebody gets super successful with the business and decides, oh, I'm going to go racing, and they'll pour a ton of money into it and might be cool and might win a race here and there, but, like, you're not going to beat a guy that's been racing since he was 4 years old.
Right.
I mean, you're just not. You
Okay,
know? It's just like you're not going to grab a basketball and go beat fucking LeBron, who's been playing, who's not only got the natural size and talent on you, but also has been doing it since they could fucking walk.
Right.
It's
you know?
all that little habitual shit that you can't really learn
Exactly.
other than
It
years
becomes
of experience.
second nature. Like, you don't even. I'm just barely, after doing it 10 years, you know, here in the last 3 to 4 years,
Shit's just starting to
I've
click.
gotten to what I would say that I'm comfortable in the car in just about every situation, to where I don't get nervous, and I don't. I mean, shit happens. I mean, it's just, it's going to, but I don't feel like I make as many nervous mistakes.
It's gotten to the point where your body knows what to do.
Yes, I mean, you just get comfortable, and when
Without
you get
your
to
mind
that,
having
when you
to think about it
exactly when you get to that point, you get. It just makes the faster guys even that much faster.
Right.
Because you're not thinking about it, you're comfortable. And it's like driving on the fucking, you know, Sunday drive
Muscle
out on the
memory.
highway. I mean, you're just, yeah, exactly,
Well,
exactly. It's muscle
Like
memory.
with your basketball analogy, back when I used to play basketball, I used to play it religiously, and through high school and college, and it got to a point where you didn't
Like,
think
yeah,
about
rosaries
dribbling.
and-
You didn't
Exactly.
think about making a move.
Like, if
Whenever
you-
I shot, like shooting the ball, I didn't even think about you don't even think about it. I just put it up. My body naturally knew the distance, the
Exactly.
angle,
Exactly.
everything to it. Like, you don't think about it anymore. You don't think about having to make this move, having to do this. You just do it instinctively.
It's the same. And like I said, there's, of course, there's guys that just have a better natural talent, hand-eye coordination, just like with anything. Singers, guitarists, artists that, draw, whatever. I mean, there's certain
Porn
things that can be
stars.
learned, and then there's also...
There is a natural talent.
To what?
There's a natural talent.
Exactly.
Some people have a natural talent.
Yeah, exactly.
for
And
something.
then you got guys, if they hone that talent and practice
become
that
LeBron
forever,
James.
they become LeBron James. Exactly. Or, Kyle Larson. That's those guys that are...
Well, there's a lot of professionals in any sport that swear up and down that talent can't be learned. Like, literally, the first time they picked up a ball, they were freaking good at it before they ever practiced.
Like that
And then they put it
4-year-old or
together.
whatever that makes all kinds of crazy shots
Yeah.
and all those weird YouTube videos.
Like,
He's going to be a Harlem Globetrotter or something.
Right?
like Kyle Larson, when he was 5.5 years old and they threw him in a go-kart, he probably
It just
wasn't
felt
a
right.
mess.
Right, yeah,
You
like
know,
it just
I mean,
felt
yes,
right.
he had a lot to
Exactly.
learn, but they were probably like, push the
It
pedal,
wasn't
go that
directly
way,
into
turn
the
at the
wall.
corner.
Exactly,
And he
exactly.
went, okay, and pushed the pedal and turned at the corner and
Yeah.
had some
That's what I'm
form
saying.
of success at it.
In the grand scheme of things, there's every day or every weekend or whatever, there's probably 10,000 men and women that strap into a race car. But there's only like a handful that are like great at it.
Right.
That you're like, that guy's fucking awesome. And it's those ones, like I said, that had that natural talent to begin with and then have done nothing but that their whole lives. And
Yeah.
they just... It's almost unfair. I mean, and we race against a guy like that here, kid Ricky Thornton Jr. I mean, he's been great and winning since he was fucking, could walk.
Yeah.
And I mean, as soon as he got in, he started, he kind of worked his way up from quarter midgets, and then I don't know.
You're like, don't buy an MCA. Don't buy an
12
MCA.
At like 12 or 13 or so, he started racing factory stocks and won in that. And then like by 15, he was in a modified and instantly started winning. And it's like, I watched this happen. I was like, this ain't fair, man. But for the longest time, I was like super jealous. But you sit back and you're like, dude, there's just people out there. They have the natural talent, and like I said, you can't knock a guy that's been doing one thing his whole life, and be mad at him for being good at it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, natural talent. Natural.
Overcome
like they tell you, talent can't. You can't learn the talent. But talent's only going to take you so far.
Yes.
You really have to hone it.
Yes,
if
it's talent and effort is the fucking key.
If you put your whole life into honing that talent you have until it's razor sharp, you're going to be one of the best there is at what you do.
Exactly. And you can see that too. You'll go out to these tracks, and I've seen guys that, they have a $12 car, and they get in that fucking thing, and they're beating the hell out of everybody there.
That's
have amazing skill, and then they're like, fuck this, it's not that interesting to them, and they don't have the drive to make it into something.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's frustrating too.
Just like you have a guy that runs a 2-minute 40-yard dash time, but is good at getting hits and can catch the ball every time it's hit towards him. And then you have a guy that has a 3.8 40, but doesn't always make the catches and everything. You're going to draft that fast guy because you can't teach speed.
Oh yeah,
you can hit balls at him all day, every day. He's eventually going to start catching them, but you can't teach speed.
Yeah.
So that was Brian's new segment, Race Time with Brian, or something better named later.
Racing Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the future, it'll probably be a shorter segment.
Yeah, well, we won't have as many questions because he answered most of them tonight.
I have a horrible memory. I'm probably going to ask those questions again.
I've had a drink or two.
Let me go through this list.
So if you don't win first, second, or third, can you still make money? But
a month from now, I'll probably be like, race car, what do you mean?
Right.
And
I never heard about this.
You race?
To digress a little bit, back to Netflix. Did you guys watch Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling?
I still haven't.
It's so good.
I haven't yet, but I haven't.
It was.
I heard they're getting naked in that show.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, woo!
It was
really,
really good, though.
Speaking of which,
I think we made it to episode 5, and it's so good. I can't wait to finish it.
Don't get your hopes up for all the naked and sex and stuff in the season 1 of Game of Thrones, because it pretty much goes downhill from there.
Oh.
Does it?
Yeah, it doesn't stay. I mean, it's always good, but it ain't season 1 good. I mean, season 1 is virtually porn where they break out some swords once in a while. They actually get into like some story later on and ruin it. But anyways, so Glow.
But yeah, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. I know me and a couple other people actually watched Glow back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
There was...
Hollywood and Vine.
Chicks wrestling.
Yeah, there was sort of a power block of, I believe it was WCCW, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and then roller derby. On Sunday afternoon. And I watched that every week.
Yeah. Always,
Hollywood and Vine
it would bother me when on Glow when one of the chicks would like come off bleeding. I'm like, oh my God,
she's is she gonna be okay?
Woman bleeding.
But then the next half hour when you watch roller derby, you're like, yeah, elbow that bitch,
hit her,
knock her tits off.
Why would you want to ruin a woman?
Touche.
Because then she can get bigger ones. Replacements help, and they'll be covered.
Just hit them really hard and they get swollen.
I can appreciate that.
Slap them around a little bit.
So
Kale brought up an idea. What was it, like 18 podcasts ago?
Well, before we get into that,
don't mess up.
Yes.
Elena, you might see it great here. We're gonna post it on Facebook, Instagram. But Elena Jennings, my amazing wife, does these hoops.
Let Brian take it up a little bit closer.
You want to carry it up there? She does these amazing embroidery hoops, and she did one for the podcast. Nope.
Too close.
A little bit further back.
Too much.
Too autofocus.
Yeah,
so I think way over here is probably still better.
So
that's good right there.
There we go, a little bit. She does these amazing embroidery hoops. She did one for the podcast. It took her forever, but it looks beautiful, and we love it.
Yeah.
We'll put it on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll do. I'll tag it and connect it to her Instagram, so you can see other hoops she does. She also does ones that she sells.
Really dig the flowers.
Yeah, she just finished one that was Bob Burgers. It was Tina from Bob Burgers.
It was awesome.
And that went in like a day. She did a Beavis and Butthead combo ones, and so she's always working on really cool embroidery hoops. But yeah, she did that for the podcast, and I loved it. It came out awesome. Brian really loves the flowers.
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's kitschy as fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Very
by the way.
good.
And she's super talented. Like she sits next to me in bed and she's just sitting there with that needle, and I don't even know how I would have stabbed myself 20 times trying to do one little stitch. I don't know how she pulls that off, but it's amazing.
Probably does stab herself 20 times. They just women tend not to cry about shit as much as we do.
You remember in high school my patch shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I constantly had bloody fingers from
all
that
the
thing.
time from putting those patches on there.
But anyway,
yeah, so all right, now on to what you were saying about 18 podcasts you've been talking about this.
Kale came up with an idea for a topic.
You sure we don't want to? We're ready for this.
I think we're finally going to get into this, but we always bump him for something more important like random talking. But I'm gonna
and battle bots.
I'm gonna make sure that Kale gets to this topic this time.
The floor is yours, Kale.
You know, we might have to dump it because Bruce Willis and that one chick in the movie. So
dude,
talk about that for like
how
10
cool would it be
minutes.
if they were involved in what you're going to bring up?
That would be awesome.
Wait, let me think.
Think about a movie. So the topic was like sports you see in movies that are fake sports. You know, like Quidditch or things like that you wish if it could work in the real world. Would you play it? Would you watch it? What would you be interested in seeing like a legit league for? Not just that, anything in movies, video games, comic books, TVs, games you played as a kid. You know, stuff like that. Like, when I was thinking of, would I watch, like, if there was a legit league for Kick the Can?
Ooh.
Like a Kick the Can league. Like, they had, like, a built stadium, you know, with, like, levels and stuff, with the can out there and the two teams, and, like, maybe in the dark, you know. Like, would you watch, like, a legit
different
Kick
terrains?
the Can? Like different terrains.
Like Smear the Queer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
politically correct.
One weekend and
whatever
one
you
weekend
call that.
only.
Smear the
guy with the ball.
Guy with the ball.
Ambiguous.
Yeah.
Unaskable gender or choice of preferences.
Neutral.
Yeah. But if there was, like, a legit league for that, would you watch it? Type
one
thing.
weekend when we were 15-ish, we invented a game that was like a Kick the Can spin-off that was super hardcore. It had like 257 rules, give or take. And it was like the most fun we've ever had in a weekend. But we literally absolutely forgot about it after that.
Yeah.
Right.
We played out in Valley Farms.
It was full contact.
The two of us stayed the weekend at a friend's house, and for some reason he wasn't there for most of it. I don't know if he went to bed early or
Yeah.
You remember you could get away with that shit?
if he went somewhere else, but
Oh,
we
shit,
were there.
I remember times I would come home from going to do something, and freaking Charlie Rosenbaum is hanging out at my house with my parents and shit, waiting for me to come home for like 3 hours.
I think there was a time or two
hanging
that
out
I had
playing.
to wait.
Yeah,
That happened
just
at
like
my
I'm
house
off
a
doing
lot.
stuff that I come home and there's a friend who's been there hanging out for like 2-3 hours playing my computer and shit, waiting for me to come home. That doesn't happen nowadays.
That happened at my house a lot. Because my mom,
It still
especially when my
happens.
dad was out of town, because my mom would let us smoke. You know, and that was when smoking was
Dude, my mom was so cool.
cool.
It was rarely a time that I would come home to an empty house.
Right?
So am I the only one that still regularly happens to, I guess?
For the most part, yeah.
What? Where
I
random
come
kids
home
are
to a
just
house full of people on a regular basis, yeah.
pretty much.
Sometimes,
Well, because see, you like you said, you started having kids when you were fucking in high school still. So now your kids have kids.
it's not always just my kids, though. I mean, I've come home to people in my house watching TV and shit, and fairly regularly.
Should I start with my kind of coolest one I really think would be awesome?
And then
And
after that we can throw out
Are we
some other ones.
are we naming our number ones first?
Yeah,
and
like
then
just name your coolest, and then after that we can
then
just play
honorable
off of like,
mention?
oh,
Okay.
that would have been a good one.
Something I would love to see is a version of the TV show you were telling us about, Hunted or something along
yes.
those lines.
Mhm.
A Most Dangerous Game, the TV show, where you have like 4 to 6 professionals that are a team that are there every time. You know, ex-cop, ex-SEAL, blah blah blah, tracker, survivalist, whatever.
Right.
And then every week you have 1 or 2 people that sign up, okay, I want to play this game. They throw you on an island, you get a 2-hour start or whatever to go hide, do whatever you want. And then the hunters are released
They
with
survive
paintball
you,
guns.
yeah.
Paintball guns, sniper, paintball guns, every...
Fuck that, let's make it real.
No.
Wasn't there like a Van Damme movie about that? Where they would
There's
hunt, like,
been
homeless
several.
There's been a
people?
bunch of them, yeah.
Steve Austin
Target.
was in
Oh,
one.
man.
But yeah,
Every
they hunt
cartoon
you.
ever.
And if you survive like 24 hours or whatever, you win the $100,000 or whatever cash prize. But you just have to survive, whether it be hiding, avoiding them, fighting
Right,
back
right.
with paintball
Winning.
guns you collect or something. I mean, it would be really cool.
They had a Russian game show forever that was like you had to run from the police, and if you got away, you won a cash prize, and if you got caught, you got charged with every crime you committed while you were
It was
running
like-
away.
Was the police involved in that one?
It was, I don't know if they were like I don't know if it was legitimately like, okay, cops, go try to catch these guys, or if they literally had to go do something wrong and get just whatever
So the
cops were on
police went
duty to chase them.
after them,
But if they lost, they literally went to jail. They got whatever punishment was coming to them for whatever they did wrong trying to win the show. So I thought that was pretty cool.
You got like a top
Mine,
one that'd be awesome.
I don't know if this is cheating or not. Okay, because on one hand, this is a legit sport, but on the other hand, who plays it is the kicker. I was thinking about this, and
unless they slip out of gear.
How badass it would be if
If you have a brain fart.
Yeah.
That's what you get from a smart ass.
Oh my fucking god! I'm just like totally drawing a blank.
That's what happens when you don't come up with anything. You're trying to make
Yeah,
it
no.
he tried to say he had something.
I absolutely did.
If you had like 11 people on each team, and there was this oblong ball.
Kevin Costner, cornfields, baseball.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Like if
So
Field
if you
of
wish
Dreams
they'd play baseball
was a
in an
real
old
thing
field.
where you could play with ghosts.
Oh, there you go.
Right, where you could play with
Like
like your
legends
dead
and
some
relatives.
holograms or something.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, something like that. Like, or you know, like where you could play baseball with Babe Ruth and Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, just like say if Field of Dreams was real, you could really go to
Yes.
field somewhere and see the ghosts of famous
Yes,
players.
that's kind of what,
baseball
like,
You
together.
could go back, like,
That'd be
watch
cool.
fucking, watch, like, one of the championship games from 1927 or some shit.
Yes.
I was actually kind of on topic. I had an idea the other day for a batting cage where they have a sensor in the ball, sort of like Top Golf, and it's 2-player, you and a friend, compete. You pick the stadium and the teams that you're playing. Like, I'm the Braves and
Red
you're
Sox
the
and the
Yankees or
Yankees, and
whatever.
I'd kick your ass for 100 years.
Sure.
Sure.
But you get 3 outs. And, wherever you hit the ball, however hard you hit it, it registers where that ball would go.
Oh, I follow you.
And registers the defense that you have set out, how they would react to that hit. And if you
So
make
it's
it on
almost
base,
tying in a video game, but real life.
Right,
hitting
swinging
the
that ball.
Yeah.
So you still have to hit the ball, but, like, it algorithms the rest
Right.
of it kind of thing?
Yeah.
and then when you
yes.
get your 3rd out, it switches sides. The other
Of course,
player
he would
bats for
throw the
his team.
fuck Brian algorithm in there. And
Basically,
I would fucking
basically.
lose every. I wouldn't get out of the infield.
But you could play
You could be those Yankees
And
and
Brian
still
Schultz
lose.
bunts again.
Yankees
What?
Braves
You're like-
at Red Sox Field, so you have the big green monster to contend with and stuff. I mean, that would
That's
be
actually
awesome.
badass.
I am not a baseball fan by any means. Actually, I hate it. I feel like it's punishment to have to watch it. But I have seen more baseball stadiums than probably most people have, just because I've gotten to travel a lot. And I would just Wrigley Field is like the coolest shit ever. Have you ever been there? Ever seen it? Even TV at least.
Oh yeah.
So you literally have the stadium, which was built in like when Jesus was here or whatever.
19.
So it's tiny.
Yeah.
And across the street, there's apartment complexes all around, and all the apartments are covered in bleachers.
Yeah, on top of the.
So part of the
buildings.
stadium is across the street on
Oh,
top of
wow.
apartment buildings.
I did not know that.
coolest. Yeah,
I did
you
not know
literally.
that.
I bet those apartments are expensive, so all you have to do is open the
Fuck,
window.
Right?
What's
Well,
funny is that
they say most of those people in those apartments rent them out for big games and stuff.
Who would? Who
But yeah,
wouldn't?
but it's literally all of the cheap seats, if you will, are not part of the stadium.
They're up on top
You
of
climb
the
up
They're
an
across
apartment.
the street.
Wow.
We just saw that. We just because we DVR shit. It'd take forever to watch it. We just finished The Amazing Race, which finished like 2 months ago. And in the season finale, they went to Wrigley Field and
Oh,
had
there
to
you go.
go up on one of those apartment buildings to the bleacher seats on top. And my wife is like, "Is that on an apartment building?" I'm like, "I think so."
So, like, if you're driving
Badass.
by at the right angle, it looks just like a really tall stadium.
Right.
And then you drive around the corner, and you're like, there's the stadium,
Wait a minute.
but there's the seats across the street. It's funny as shit.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did
it's
not
pretty
know
cool.
It's
So-
kind of cool that in this day and age with the fucking all the super stadiums and the, like the Cowboys
That they won't
fucking
fuck with it?
$1 billion fucking stadium and all this shit. I mean, even though like Cardinal Stadium's cool and all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's badass.
It ain't no Cowboy
But-
stadium.
It's still top 5, easy.
But that you've got some purists that are keeping shit like that.
Or
from-
Green Bay.
Yes,
Green Bay too. I think they
yes.
like they sit out there in like minus 30-degree weather
Places
and watch
that
football.
could sell more tickets, but
Right.
just don't because they refuse to redo their stadium.
And they could build a dome and play in comfort, but it's the frozen tundra.
Right.
I mean, that's home field
You
advantage
would take
right there.
so much out of it if it was easy. So
Absolutely, yeah.
mine is sticking with the automotive theme. Death Race.
Death
Death Race. That was on my list.
Yeah, but on mine as
Oh,
well.
would you watch Death Race?
I
If there was a real
don't know
Death
if
Race?
it's like really killing people. Like,
Yeah, it's just really killing people.
I don't know.
I'm down for that.
What if
I
we
mean,
were in that day and age? Like, that's
not
where it was.
necessarily like
I mean,
it's not necessarily the goal to kill people, but if people die,
Mine get-
they're inmates, so it's just not that big a deal.
Mine are going to get that bad, so be prepared.
I didn't have a giant list of them. That was pretty much my major one, but I totally think like if you did it in a complex where they can't get out, kind of like the thing is,
Like in the movie remake.
Okay, you're talking like
He's doing
the
like,
newer
the
version.
remake one.
Okay,
Jason
Yeah, yeah,
Statham
yeah.
did,
It's
where
inmates and
convicts.
shit. Okay.
no, I'm
Enclosed
full on
Coliseum.
inmates. You're talking like they're going to die anyway, and like these are all on death row. But if you win, you get to spend your life in prison instead of dying.
That's my preface for the killing ones as well.
Yeah, and then so
Okay, I thought
It's-
you meant like the OG Death Race where they're like racing
Racking
across
up
the
points by
country.
running
yeah,
people
down
over.
Interstate
Yes.
40 and
That would
shit.
be
Yeah.
kind of cool too. Though.
Or you get like you diagnosed with some kind of terminal disease, but you're still fairly healthy. You go compete in that, you win, your family's set for life, and you're going to die anyway.
Right.
You get to go out with a bang though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my whole thing. Is it's like the goal isn't to kill people, but if it happens to further your fucking victory, cool. It's not
Right.
against the rules. It's just not the main goal. It's not he who lives wins. It's he who crosses the finish line wins. But if you kill some people to get there along the way, that's
Right.
just pure
Yeah.
television. Because I mean, if you watch it and it's fake and you love it, chances are if you watch it and it's real, you'd love it too.
Right.
I mean, like, okay, so like it's gonna go to dark places because some of these scenes are bad, you know. So my top one, like, I would watch this if I real. I don't think I could turn away from the Hunger Games.
Yep, that was on my
If
list.
there was a legit, real
yeah.
life Hunger Games,
yeah.
I don't know if I could turn that off.
Mine was Hunger Games / Battle Royale / Running Man.
Yeah,
Because the Running Man, you've
the
got
Running Man was on
you've
my
got
list too.
COs or whatever,
Mhm.
and if you make it through the gauntlet, you win the game. But those guys are prepared and able to take
The
you
Running
out.
Man was an excellent one too, and that's another one where they were convicts. They were supposed to be convicts.
And
You
you're
know.
fighting for your freedom.
Fighting for your freedom. But I mean, you know, but the Hunger Games, that's one. Like, I mean, I know it's horrible. You know, you got the kids and the youngins out there killing each other and stuff. But if that was on TV, I want to be able to turn it off.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch that shit.
I think so too.
Like
think,
24/7, it
Yeah.
would be on my TV until that Hunger Games was over.
And I mean, take even terminal diseases or death row inmates out of the equation. Like, I think the Running Man in the book, it might have been The Longest Mile, but you had the option, like, okay, say you're a father and you're down and out, and you're to the point to where, okay, do I rob a bank and hopefully get it so my family has money to survive and everything? You can say, all right, family, I'm going to go take this shot, you know, and it might
Compete in this
it
thing.
might be worth to, you know, I was good at football in high school and I stay physically fit and stuff. I just can't find a good job. I'm gonna go out there and I can win. You know, it'd give a chance for someone
You think
down
this
and
is
out.
still good?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Cloak and Dagger?
Ooh,
I don't remember much about that one.
Basically, like a real hardcore fucking scavenger hunt. more
pretty
or
much,
less.
yeah. Trying to figure out the clues of what the game holds, and you have to go to different people to figure out different things, and you have bad guys hunting you down the whole time.
Yeah,
kinda
that'd
cool.
be a good one.
But they're trying to kill you, not just win the game.
Yeah.
Not just win the game.
Yeah, death is still a consequence of not winning.
Okay, this next one involves potential death, but it isn't even remotely the goal. And I know that
Like life.
yeah, Top Gear and stuff have done similar things or whatever, but you take 15 teams or whatever, Cannonball Run style, except for each of them get the exact same car, whether it be a Camry or an F-150
So it's like
or
stock car
whatever.
cannonball?
Kinda.
It's
But
the IROC
at the
series.
beginning-
There you
Remember
go.
that?
Yeah.
At the beginning, you get, say, $15,000, and you get to put it in your car. And there's no limit to what you can spend that
Okay.
money on. You can put machine guns on it. You can upgrade your tires. You can do
okay.
whatever
So
the
you
hell you
can
want.
make a badass supercar, or you could make a Defender.
Right.
A machine.
And And after
That's
that,
what you need. You win some more races if you had a machine gun.
You have to
in
wait
your car,
like
bro.
14 months for that fucking permit to come.
Right, you're fucked.
but once you say, okay, here's my car, go through tech, and they say, okay, you haven't spent any more money, you're good. No more money can be spent on your car. There's stations along the way where you can refill on gas, get oil changes, check your radiator fluid. Just stuff that
General
necessities for your
Yep,
car to
yep.
keep continuing the race. And you can, anything goes. You can pit maneuver the guy that is right ahead of you.
Or you could shoot him with your machine gun.
But is it worth the damage you're doing to your car? Because you have to keep going too.
So you virtually get a normal NASCAR pit stop and nothing further.
Right. And the race ends when the second to last car's engine blows or whatever, and you have one car. The further, once he goes a foot further than the guy that just blew up, he wins the race. It's
So
just
you have nationwide NASCAR demo derby, anything goes.
until everybody's car dies or driver,
There
except
would
for
have
one.
to be some sort of benefit to being the first guy, at each checkpoint, because
As opposed to being just the last
as opposed
guy.
to just putting all your money into armor and building a tank, that
And
just-
going as slow as you can so nobody's near
Exactly,
you.
yeah. So I mean, there would have to
But
be.
you
There would have to be
you
bonuses or
you
some
spend
sort-
that much money armoring your car and stuff. That's going to take a big toll on the suspension and tires and stuff, and you might have 4 blowouts and be stuck on the side of the road.
But
Whereas
the point is,
if you don't make
if
it to
there's
that
no
next pit
benefit to
stop,
hit the
you can't get
checkpoints,
any.
it's going to be a regular demolition derby because everybody's going to battle it out.
Well,
at the
no,
starting
because
line.
if your car quit, if you can't drive your car anymore, say you hit the checkpoints, you run out of gas because you're just driving along the tank, your car stopped, you're out. That's the thing. He said, last car still going. If your car can't go anymore, you're out. So if your tank runs out of gas, your tank suspension blows, you can't make it to the next checkpoint, you're stuck on the side of the road, you're done in the race.
You're probably going to assume your car is the best when you start, though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
don't you always?
I guess it would be a
But plus,
strategic.
if you get that hole shot, you don't have to worry about the guys pitting you and stuff. You can stay ahead.
Yeah, I
of
mean,
the
if you're up
pack,
in the front,
you can kind
let
of
them
just
battle
cruise
it
ahead
out
of
back
them.
there.
But there's still got to be an end point at some point if you're going to do it that way because you're going to be up in the front all the way to the end and then you have to come back through the whole pack again.
No, you don't. That's not a circle or nothing.
Are
You just keep
making
going
a
until
big
everybody.
loop around the
The country.
Yeah, it's a
Florida to
no
LA
no
to,
backtracking, but
to Seattle to fucking New York City and
Like a big old square, big old oval. Go fast, turn left through the whole
There's
Right.
definitely
Right.
a nugget of an idea there.
Go
That
fast,
could be
turn
worked
left
out.
every 4,000 miles.
right
it's a really slow left though.
road
Really slow up.
tripping. Road tripping.
I'm
One
down.
that I had that I thought would be cool was if there was a real life Mortal Kombat. Like the video games.
Just bless you.
Real
Like
life
MMA
full
with no
on,
ref.
So you
MMA
legit have magic?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say there's magic, but whatever.
Do we
I mean,
have all of our powers available to us?
Yes.
in the
All of
arena,
them.
in the arena. But like, what if there was like a real life? Okay, say you cut the magic out, but like weapons, because they have weapons now. They always, rock swords and guns and rocket launchers and shit. In
And
them.
scissors.
And scissors. But like, if
There's
it was like
some
a real
paper
life Mortal
from
Kombat
what I
where it was
hear.
just full on, no holds barred to the death.
I'm down. I mean, I'm down to watch. I don't want
Like,
to do it.
yeah, you don't want. That's not when you're gonna play.
I'm down.
But
Oh, you're
but,
fighting this guy. No, I didn't mean that.
but like full on Mortal Kombat, someone just ripping someone else's throat out, just as hardcore as fighting could get.
Like Patrick Swayze style.
Yeah, exactly. Roadhouse them. Roadhouse them all day. Roadhouse.
Chuck Norris would win it.
Even if he didn't enter.
Right.
Right.
He's already won it, and it's not even happened yet.
That dude's like
Exactly.
78 and still competing in jiu-jitsu championships and shit.
Does he really?
And wins.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He's a beast.
Chuck.
Yeah. You got any others you can think of?
What about Jumanji?
Ooh, I like that.
I thought it was. Man, I don't like the thought of packs of animals running wild. Like I just.
Like like if there was legit,
stay in America.
You
I
can't
guess.
control that.
Yeah.
Like
But yeah, like that's a good one. Like if
Fucking
like
pack
you
of
could
rhinos
legitimately
running
play
through
the
our fucking
Jumanji
house
game,
right
would
now.
you? With everything that comes with it.
Ooh.
Oh man, that would be one like you'd be so I'd be so tempted to play.
Yeah.
It'd be hard not to.
But it'd be scary as shit though every
It'd
time
be like
you
a
roll.
Ouija board.
Could you imagine how you'd feel every time you go to roll the dice? Like a fucking lion might come out and
Right.
try to eat you. Like, oh, that'd be awesome.
I know it's
I like
kind of in the works already,
Mhm.
but real life Mech Warriors.
See, yes, that's what I'm down for.
The what?
Mech Warriors.
Like BattleBots on.
Oh yeah.
Steroids.
Yeah, like I loved my favorite PC games back in the day were the Mech Warrior. I used to buy the fucking big ass controller joysticks with the little throttle and everything, so it was like full on Mech Warrior.
But instead of shit like these guys going after each other,
yeah, they're like 90-foot tall robots.
It's basically metal soldiers duking it out.
What was the movie that they did not too long ago? With,
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
It's those, but the robots are fighting each other instead of fighting monsters.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the fucking
the
transporter dude. Or no, it was Logan. That's right.
Logan was. I can't
What's his
remember
name?
the name of that, but.
And he was the boxer, and then they
Real Steel. That's when it was.
There
like,
you go. That's the name too.
That is, it's like the evolution of that, going from the little robot, because that could be one cool one too, like those, because that would be like the evolution of this shit to the
I'd
next
go
level.
watch that shit.
Hell yeah, me too. But these ones, Mech Warrior, you were in these giant like 90-foot tall robots that you sit in the cockpit. You got rocket launchers, freaking machine guns on them.
It's coming, man.
And you
because
just go out and they battle.
And take
each
it a
other.
step further. If you win, you get to plug your tail into them and have sex with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works out.
I would be afraid of getting shot.
With the Real Steel thing, do you think Floyd Mayweather could pilot one enough to run around the ring
And not get hit?
And not get hit.
Speaking of which,
If his was a tank that could get punched fucking repeatedly and not go down, then yeah.
what are you guys' pick in that fight? McGregor Mayweather.
Mayweather all the way. I don't think he would sponsor something like that if he had a chance of losing.
My prediction, if you want me to go first or second, I guess.
Go ahead.
McGregor might be able to throw them things in the UFC, but he's not an elite boxer. He is not an elite professional boxer.
Right.
And Mayweather is undefeated against elite boxers and some subpar boxers.
And he's also he has the, like you're talking about with racing. He didn't jump in that fucking seat when he was 5 years old and do it his whole life. Right. He has to unlearn skills to fucking fight this fight.
McGregor does.
Yeah, when he gets in a bind, he can't throw his fucking roundhouse kick.
No,
he can't throw his elbow. He has to do. He's basically you're taking the fight out of the dog and hoping he's going to do good against one of the best.
See, initially when this first come down the pipe, I thought it was going to be these two guys go in and fight. Their style, and
which
Mayweather would have to learn,
destroy him.
I was assuming that they were going to regulate it somehow to Mayweather would have to learn some MMA, McGregor would have to learn some boxing,
but they find some medium ground.
Yeah, like a medium ground, kind of really.
The first time Mayweather would hug him to keep from getting punched, he would get slammed, and it would be over.
See that's the thing about it.
And he's also way down on reach on fucking arms and legs.
There's such a difference between boxing and UFC fighting. They correlate with each other in no way whatsoever.
Except for UFC fighters have to learn boxing, they have to learn wrestling, they have to learn jiu-jitsu, they have to learn judo.
But they don't correlate anyway. The rules are completely different.
Yeah.
The way the rounds work are completely different.
Anytime a boxer has stepped in the octagon, they've gotten absolutely destroyed.
And Mayweather is, as much as I hate him, as much as I hate his fights because I think they're boring as shit, is a master at how boxing works and
it's
set up.
It's the sweet science. That is what boxing was for a really, really, really long time.
And now
you hit your opponent as much as you want, whatever, but don't get hit. Don't get hit. That's the key.
I do think an MMA fighter...
Until Tyson and Riddick Bowe and everybody else came in, and everybody's like, oh, I want to see them haymakers. I want to see somebody get knocked out. I want to see blood.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He wasn't famous for hard hits. He was famous for dodging hits.
Right.
Yep.
And but I think an MMA fighter has a lot better chance of winning a boxing match than the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
if this was the other way, if this was Mayweather going into the octagon, he's done.
Put him against a woman.
Put him against
I still
any
Ronda Rousey
fighter.
I still think
I would fuck him up repeatedly.
I think both of these guys are so smart financially. I still think there's a chance that we're going to see an MMA fight with Mayweather. We have to,
because Dana White was at every single press conference.
He
is going to get paid.
After when at this point, I'm convinced that these two both. I think Floyd Mayweather is the money guy, and I think
literally.
I think it come down the pipe in his mind that he's like, I can cash in on this fucking Irish white boy.
They're both going to win.
Line my pockets, and
they're both lining their pockets.
I think it's a fucking. He's like, let's put on
And
a
he's
fucking
also
spectacle.
because
Let's cuss at each other.
Yeah,
at fucking
and he's also
press
thinking
conferences.
because I have
but they're
no
flying out on private jets
Yeah.
in the same fucking plane. I
They're
mean,
both
they're
getting
hanging
like
out.
they're both getting like $9 million to step into the ring, win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
no,
they're
Mayweather's
payouts.
getting way more than
No,
that.
no, that's
Yeah,
bare minimum,
bare minimum
to step into the ring. That's
No. I think Mayweather's like on contract. They said for like 100.
100, yeah, like they're making $100 million on this.
Like
They're
regardless,
making
just
bad money.
I'm sure.
stepping in, yeah.
they're saying it's
and
$1 billion
McGregor's making
fight.
like 20.
Did you guys see the press conferences?
I didn't even watch.
I've watched bits and pieces.
I didn't watch any of the Mayweather speaking, but I caught a lot of McGregor talking, and it felt like he was in the WWE in the 80s and not very good with mic skills.
Well, they're literally like
and allowed to cuss. It
Right.
was he just.
Well, that's what the point I was
The
going to make.
fighting-
Like, also,
it was
when
like
they're
he was
putting
just
it
trying to
together,
put it over.
Mayweather's like, I have no personality whatsoever. Let me get the guy who has the biggest personality and ability to sell this fight to fight me.
But he's doing a horrible job, and it doesn't need hyping. This is the fight of the century. This is the Thriller in Manila of our generation.
Right.
I mean, it's probably going to be a horrible fight.
it's going to be the most. It's
gonna
already
be a
the most
talked
horrible
about
fight
and-
because
yeah.
you're taking a defensive boxer and you're putting him against a non-boxer who can only box.
Yeah,
Who's only be allowed to box.
right.
So you're basically you're basically fucking taking like
Okay,
Lawrence Taylor
Yeah.
versus fucking like a third string quarterback is what
Okay,
you're, is what
so
you're
basically,
fucking gonna watch here.
Mayweather is an expert at not getting hit. So let's put him against this guy that's not very good at punching, and only make him punch.
Yeah. The estimated...
McGregor's guaranteeing a knockout in 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who?
McGregor.
That is
Oh,
He's
yeah.
guaranteeing a
Stupid.
knockout in 4 rounds.
Here's the
Maybe-
thing.
if he gets
he's
knocked
gonna
out in
knock
4
out-
maybe.
I guarantee
if
that's
he's-
not gonna happen.
If he's going to knock him out, it has to be early because I don't know how he's going to fare in the
If
later rounds.
stamina-wise, yeah.
In the first 3 rounds, if McGregor happens to land that one lucky punch, it might be able to knock him out.
It's
But
what's
I
gonna
doubt
come
it
out. He has
because
to
he's an all-around good
Yeah.
fighter, and he has knockout power.
Realistically,
But every
Mayweather's
boxer-
never been hit
every-
a knockout blow.
Every boxer Mayweather has fought, all they do is box.
Right.
All they do is work on their punching speed and power. McGregor has to worry about the whole game.
Yep.
And even if he lands that one punch, is it going to be a better punch than Canelo landed on him?
And then also,
I mean, have you
they're
guys-
wearing 14-ounce gloves.
Right.
and if he
And
and
He's going to tire out quickly.
And what happens if
McGregor's
Habit
not going to
kicks
be
in?
used to swinging 14-ounce
Yeah,
gloves.
it's a
on
whole
his
different-
hands.
what happens if Habit kicks in? Depending on the rules, they said if he throws 3 fucking elbows
Or a
and leg
headbutt
kicks, or 3 of them is enough to fucking end the fight.
Yep.
If they keep those rules, they might throw some funky rules out there. Who knows,
Here
but-
I think it was just today they had the video of when Mayweather fought De La Hoya, and basically we're like, how De La Hoya was just robbed, and I mean, like De La Hoya was just fucking pummeling him.
but
you
not
know?
pummels that count.
Yeah,
That was
it's
the big
like,
thing.
It's like, can anybody fathom McGregor being better at it than De La Hoya?
Right.
And
My-
De La Hoya still lost.
My prediction,
By a lot. It wasn't a little bit. It was a lot.
my prediction, unless he gets so gassed that he throws in the towel, Mayweather in 12, winning all 12 rounds. That's my prediction.
I could even see, because of the way his science is, Mayweather is
He's only going to land 3 hits and then avoid every single hit McGregor throws.
Mayweather has famously lost the first 2 to 3 rounds because
He learns people's style.
his sweet science. He literally sits there and gets beat the first 2 or 3 rounds and learns how to fight, and then finishes the rest of the fight by winning.
He's like, okay, this is the strategy they brought in. This is what I'm going to do to counteract it. And I
but
don't
damn
get hit
near every
anymore.
Mayweather fight I've ever watched, by the second round, you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna lose. Oh, never mind. He's got
there
this
he
shit.
is.
And next thing you know, round 4, he's like, ding, 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 and he fucking wins it.
Right.
By punching very softly for fucking 12 rounds, enough to be scored way above.
And
The estimated splits, based off like the pay-per-view sales and revenues and everything, is $230 million for Mayweather and $70 million for McGregor.
Are you shitting me right
That's
now?
the estimated split.
And see, I totally could see, because, so technically, McGregor loses this fight. He's still an undefeated fighter because that wasn't
that
his
wasn't a
fight.
UFC fight.
right.
So if Mayweather turns around and does the exact same shit and goes into a fight he knows he's going to lose, makes another $200 or $300 million and loses,
it doesn't matter.
An undefeated fighter because it's not his arena. Yep,
it's not sanctioned.
Well, it's sanctioned, just not in his sport.
I honestly, I don't see Mayweather getting in the octagon.
I kind of don't either, but it wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
It would be cool if it happened, and I could understand why it might happen, but I don't see him stepping.
I don't see it because for one, he's a 40-year-old man. Like, it's one thing to avoid being boxing,
it's one thing to box at 40 years
blocking punches,
old.
whatever.
Yeah.
But like.
It's
MMA is
MMA
way more active and way more, like you said, it's a plethora of discipline.
But he could let him knock him out in the second round and walk out $300 million richer.
Yeah. I mean, the UFC
I honestly don't think his ego will let that happen.
Me
That's
too.
possible.
But the UFC fight would be less of a fight than the boxing match will be.
If anybody wants to kick my head in for $300 million,
right?
I'm in.
That's what my friend was saying. He's like, if McGregor's making $70 million, man, why not step in and you can punch
Can you imagine being in a situation where $70 million disappoints you?
Yeah,
no,
not at all.
Because Mayweather wouldn't have stepped in the ring for $70 million.
No, he wouldn't have. But he makes hundreds of millions of dollars a fight nowadays, though.
But he also bets on himself and shit. I mean, that dude's
some
ridiculous.
Pete Rose shit right there.
You really wish his accountant would fucking fuck him over tax.
Another thing to think about with Mayweather.
Come on, pull a Mike Tyson.
Dude, I follow him on Facebook, and he posts when he bets. He bets on sports regularly, a lot, and he always posts up his shit. Like he makes NFL tons. Like he'll bet $10-12 million on a Sunday, and he posts up his tickets, and he usually wins. I mean, every Sunday the dude's making $30-40 million on gambling on football.
It's like us betting, a couple.
No, because he wins.
It'd be like us betting $10.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have $500 million in the bank, like betting $10 million really ain't that fun.
Yeah, that's like betting $10 to us. I'm like, I'll throw.
It's not like betting 10. It'd be like us betting a
couple hundred.
Maybe you.
Could you imagine like throwing like $5,000 down on a bet?
I have before.
Yeah. I have too, but
wow.
I've had that much on a craps table pretty easy, but
nice.
Only when it's casino money.
Casino money.
Back in the day, we did some betting on like baseballs and baseball games.
On baseballs?
And I would.
It's gonna be white. Red stripes.
I would drive to fucking Laughlin or Vegas, depending on how much time. I would fly. There was one time I flew, but we just go there literally to fucking walk into the sports book, put down a bet, and walk out and leave.
Wow. My big thing, like, I get into craps, and I only start playing craps if I'm playing with casino money, but I've literally been hot on a table and make the mistake of counting how much I have on the table at a time. I'll be like, I'm fucking doing so good, and then I count, and I'm like, oh my god, if I lose, I'm losing this much fucking money. And then I start and it fucks me all up. Yeah. So if I just ignore it and keep drinking, I do fine, but I start getting paranoid, and I realize I'm betting like a motherfucker.
For all the Mayweather haters, he might not be able to read very well. I don't know. Right? I don't know. But when he retires, he's going to be able to speak, read, and write the same level as when he started.
Yeah, he was a punching bag, but they didn't hurt him.
Yeah. He avoided the big hits. Well, back to the topic at hand that we're originally at. I have another one, sport that if, say, magic was real, Quidditch from the Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I thought you meant the basketball player. I was like, he is. I met him.
I thought he was talking about the card game.
John made fun of him.
No, not that one. But, Quidditch from Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
That would be a badass one.
Absolutely. Give me that, what is it, the broom something 3000 or something?
The Nimbus 3000?
The Nimbus, yes.
I don't know if it would take magic or skill or negative gravity or whatever, but the football game from Starship Troopers.
Oh, yeah. That was just like a hardcore arena football.
It was basically regular ass football.
It was like a hardcore arena football. Yeah, that was a good one.
Did we ever tell you this story about when John made fun of Magic?
No.
Magic
Johnson? Yeah, to his face?
No.
Well, not to his face.
Within earshot?
Within earshot.
We're walking through the airport. Him and I went to pick up my parents from a flight, right? And we're walking, and we're not fast dim-witted people, apparently, everybody that's walking past us is talking about Magic Johnson.
That's actually where two of
You
the
didn't
most
get
quick-witted,
why
I
they were
think,
talking
but-
about Magic
yeah.
Johnson.
Oh, no, because we were in La La Land talking about some other stupid shit.
And he was announcing the NBA Finals or whatever that was going on, so
Right.
he was topical still.
So somebody walked by and was like, Magic Johnson! And John goes, Magic Johnson? Ew, he's got AIDS!
And then I turned my head
And
to
we
the right,
got-
and they're...
And he was standing,
And I'm like,
he was standing as close as we are to each other right now.
that's Magic Johnson. I mean, he was
Oh.
engaged with a couple of people, so he might not have
my
heard what I
God. No,
said.
he heard you.
He
probably.
pretended that he
In
didn't
my
hear
version
you.
of this story, he heard you loud and clear.
So here's why I know he heard us. For the next hour, we begged him for an autograph.
And he blew you off?
It took an hour to get his autograph. He finally was like, go away. Well, he went, this is how long ago this was, he went over to the payphone to call his wife. And it was funny because he was on the phone. I'll never forget that shit. There was a guy, do you remember the guy that was next to him?
Mm-hmm.
There was another guy on the phone with his wife. And he's like, you could hear it like, honey, you're not going to believe this shit. Magic Johnson's standing next to me at the payphone. And he's like, seriously? My wife wants to know how your wife's doing. She's fine. And they're like, seriously, like, he says she's fine, honey. And we're like, what the fuck? But yeah, we followed him all the way to this phone call and kept asking for his autograph. And finally, while he's talking to his wife, he's like, literally.
In my defense again, there's a slight chance, because he
heard you.
He stopped, and he, signed an autograph, took a picture with the little girl, and then he told everybody, all right, I'm done, I got to go catch my flight. And he kept turning everybody away. He's like, I don't have time, I got to go make sure I get on my flight. And he got stuck on the phone. And that's why he's like, all right, I kind of have time, all right, let's get this over with. And then the guy that was on the phone next to him, he's like, you're flying, all right, I'll get you on the flight, don't bother me anymore, but...
So this is what
we
the 90s
wore him
was
down.
like. Like, one of the most famous basketball players ever was talking on a payphone and flying coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
John said he had AIDS.
That's
To
awesome.
his face.
Well, he still did at the time. That was
Yeah.
before he got rid of it.
Magic,
with Magic.
yeah.
Um,
Lived up to his name.
Let's see, another one that I got, go with the racing theme from the Star Wars Episode 1, pod racing.
Yes, that was going to be
yes.
mine. I was going
Pod
to go
racing?
yes. I hope that
You want
someday
some racing like
that
that?
if we have flying cars or flying machines, that we fucking figure
So,
out how to
you know,
race
That's
them.
a guaranteed.
that's
The first day there's a
ability to
flying
do it.
car, there won't be any racing because there'll be one. The first time there's two flying cars,
Right.
There's
I
gonna
think I
be a
can
race.
beat that
There's
one.
gonna be a race. It's coming.
Kale, thank you for saying that, because you're one of the biggest Star Wars aficionados, geeks that I know.
at least in this room.
And most people that know what Star Wars is, oh yeah, pod racing is stupid. Thank you for actually acknowledging that it was kind of cool.
It was
and-
kind of
Dude, I fucking love the
Oh,
pod.
dude, man, I played
Pod ra- oh my
the
fuck
video
yeah.
game
Oh, yeah.
pod racing
On the 64, right?
nonstop. And they have at the arcades back when
Yeah.
we used to have arcades. They had
With
the
just
big
the
one. You
dual
could
throttle
sit down in the pod
and
racer
each
and actually
control
control it
the
like in,
engines.
the, like in
Nice.
the movie. And they had the giant big screen in front of you. I love the pod racer. I thought it was fun as shit.
Yeah.
Seeing all the different racers and it was
It was
just
well done.
I love the. I always love the noises.
Yeah.
Used to
Like,
I
man,
was
the
gonna
difference
mention-
That pod racer had a big
all,
block.
all the different races because the engines were different. They all had their own sound.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know,
Like
the
some-
Anakin's was
design-
Cam.
He had like that scream. Like some of them had like kind of a
I've
high pitched
kinda done
scream.
it.
Some had a low pitched.
The what?
I've
Yeah.
kind of done
You
it.
kind of pod raced. Okay.
At Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
The Star Tours.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You get in the race and you're flying around in
comes
the
down and-
transporter, and they accidentally get in a pod race, so they're like,
Yeah,
screw it,
that
why
was-
not win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool one. But yeah, pod racing. I mean, I thought it was awesome. I'd be
Yeah.
down.
Oh,
Pod racing
absolutely.
would be cool as shit.
Absolutely.
We mentioned Running Man. We
Oh.
talked about robot boxing.
Oh, basketball.
That's on
I
my
would
list.
love to
I thought
watch
you guys would
basketball.
already have said that. Yeah.
No, we haven't said it yet. Would you watch? I mean, like baseball's one of those ones they could legitly do basketball. I'm surprised it never really.
And I would love the fact that it evens the playing field. Like a team of LeBron, Jordan, and Magic Johnson could compete against three guys from Ohio, and it'd be a
And it
level
could be
playing
a competed
field.
level playing field.
Because
They're not
those guys
having
from
to
Ohio
dribble.
could be really good at horse.
Yeah,
I mean, shooting is a completely different thing than playing
than
basketball.
playing basketball. I mean, they could all be 120
Stone-willed.
pounds overweight
See,
or
and I
something,
don't
and still be able to
remember.
play
I don't
well.
remember enough to know all the nuances.
Oh, there was
of
so
that
many
game.
rules.
Yeah, I was like,
And
I just
then
remember that.
and
there
the
was
playoffs
like
were
so many different
So many
variations
rules.
of it.
No, it was.
psych outs.
Yeah, I mean it was simple. It was
Your mom fucked
literally
weak.
just It is literally baseball, but with basketball rules. Like you made a shot, you got to go to a base. Depending on where you shot from, depended like the farther back you are was like a free throw is like a single, a 3-pointer's like a double, half court's like a home run.
If you strike somebody out and they miss. It's like 2 outs.
Yeah,
like
you get to if you're on the other team, you get to mess with them while they're trying to shoot. Everything short of touching them, you get to
San
like,
Franciscan
fuck with them
for vagina.
That was good, but yeah, basketball's one that like I could see that. That would be fun. I thought it was great when I watched it. Like the first time after you finish watching it, you're like, let's go play fucking basketball. Let's go make this
I think I wrote down all the rules.
Let's go make this shit actually work. Let's see. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Battlestar Galactica series that they did not so long ago. There was this game in there called Pyramid that was really cool. I like that one. What else did I have?
Is that like the Eiffel Tower?
What about Tackle Jenga?
Tackle Jenga. Okay, rules.
Full contact. Full contact Jenga.
Full contact Jenga.
Still in the concept phase here.
There's definitely Jenga blocks involved and violence.
Jenga blocks and violence.
I know forever Spencer's and shit had the like sex Jenga.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Like when you pulled out the block, it had like
some type of sexual something you had to do
on it.
We had
take off an item of clothing or suck a nipple or something.
We had a drinking game version of that played at the Parkway Wretch House, and it didn't end well for Billy's wife.
Would you watch what if there was like a sex Jenga circuit you could watch like voyeurism?
Oh fuck yeah!
Watching people play sex.
That's
Jenga.
a rhetorical question.
Yeah. It's like, if you guys were thirsty, would you drink water? I'm just curious,
If you ran out of oxygen in your lungs,
would you take a breath?
Exhale and inhale again?
So you down for professional sex Jenga?
I don't even care if it's amateur.
Would you?
I prefer amateur. I think.
Would you participate in the sex Jenga?
Ooh.
Like professionally?
Ooh, I'm good at Jenga.
People are watching you play sex Jenga.
My wife would not let me.
I'll go get the game right now.
Like, babe,
are you that confident?
Babe, it's for the sport.
It's for the sport.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm a professional.
I played it since I was 5. I played since I was 5.
I've been building my way up here since I was 5 years old.
Some people are born,
Oh my god.
That's early, man.
It was just me and my weird uncle.
And Jenga wasn't even invented yet. That was kind of just weird.
We just had sex.
There was a lot of times in like video games, like the RPGs. There's always like some kind of games or something like Final
the
Fantasy.
mini games type shit.
Yeah, mini games. Final Fantasy is always popular
Kokobo
for
racing.
that. Kokobo, yeah, exactly. One of the ones I liked was in Final Fantasy X, the Blitzball. I don't know if you guys played that one. Is where it was kind of like soccer but underwater.
Oh yeah, I remember
that. Yeah, and like I was addicted to playing that on the video game, and if that was in real life, it was cool because it was like this. They used anti-gravity to make this arena that was just a giant, huge ball of water, and the water was like oxygenated, so you could like survive in it for like 5 minutes or something before you had to get out. And they played like this soccer style game in there. It was badass. Like the
how do you get the ball to move?
The balls were like specially designed, and they like. The way the oxygenated water was and the way the ball would fly through and stuff.
They're made out of some space age polymer.
I'm sitting here listening to about a story about oxygenated water in a space game, and I'm like, how does the
ball move right?
Explain the physics of that.
See, and like I said, but like if that world was real, that would be a game I'd be interested in watching and playing.
I always laugh when people do that. You're watching like fucking Star Wars, and the dude's like, boom, with a lightsaber. Oh, come on, they couldn't cut through that with a lightsaber.
How do you know what a fucking
They're on the Death Star, and that's the shit that you're thinking that isn't possible.
All right, here's two. RC Prom. Would you watch people race RC cars that were equipped with little missiles and stuff? And
yes, absolutely. In a heartbeat,
absolutely. I don't know why that's not.
I just thought, like, how can we start that?
Right?
I don't know how that's not a fucking thing already.
That? Just
I'm
like
addicted to regular
BattleBots meets fucking RC fucking
go
car
get some
racing.
fucking RC cars and weaponize them.
Put a fucking tombstone fucking blade.
So it's BattleBots at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then you can take that up a step to the drone racing and make it like TIE fighters.
There you go.
So give the drones air-to-air missiles.
Yeah, lasers and stuff.
Have drones.
No, missiles.
No, lasers.
I want it to be dangerous to be in the audience.
Oh, okay. Lasers are kind of dangerous.
Drone pieces flying everywhere.
It's got...
lasers don't stop.
Oh, look, he just launched the stinger. Oh, shit.
You can have a couple stingers on there and then, some lasers.
It's got missiles and guns.
What about fat old guys in go-karts with weapons? Mario Kart.
Mario Kart was one I was going to bring up. I forgot about
You
it.
can throw mushrooms
what about
at each other?
Yes.
What about like a legit Mario Kart though, where you actually did have weapons? You could like
I do that every
Mario
time I'm
Karts.
on the interstate with a friend and finish a beer.
Yeah.
Toss that shit out. Mario Kart would be cool if you could have a real life Mario Kart. That'd be
Oh,
fun.
fuck yeah.
That'd be badass.
Basically, just a bunch of dudes in go-karts getting to throw shit at each
Yeah,
other.
That'd
you
be
throw
on
shit at each other.
the Nashville Network or something like that. But
ESPN
still,
Somebody
8,
would
the
pick it
Ocho.
up.
the
Throwing
Ocho.
greasy
The
marshmallows
Ocho.
or something.
ESPN 8, the Ocho. There's one, dodgeball.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked pretty legit in the movie.
Right.
There's a bunch
Could
of
we have-
kickball leagues
I was
popping
gonna
up around
know.
here.
I was gonna say there's like a
legit dodgeball.
there's
league.
like a trampoline dodgeball league
It
that
don't-
I've seen.
Really?
See, I don't think they need to add the trampolines. I
Yeah.
think that's like adding explosions for explosion's sake. I don't think,
Yeah,
Depends
they're-
on
I don't
who's
think it
bouncing
needs
on the
it.
trampoline.
Like the
chicks.
Did
If
you
we're
ever
talking
watch-
like some Baywatch shit going on, I'm down with that.
Did you ever watch the full
trampolines.
contact basketball done on the trampoline courts?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
That wasn't as cool as
No,
it sounded.
it sounded like that was be badass, and it
Still
wasn't
better
all
than
that great.
baseball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the kickball. There are legit kickball leagues.
Yeah.
I
We
know,
got-
I know a few people that play in some up in the city.
Mhm.
That they're like, we were just in the playoffs. Playoffs for what? Kickball. Oh, okay.
Right.
Like I
Awesome.
remember playing that in PE in third
Yeah.
grade. But
West-
they have
West-
like legit.
West
kickball
Fraser
leagues.
was really, really good at it.
But yeah, legit kickball leagues.
Yeah, that's one of those cats that was always just good at sports. He just
Here's one.
he was one of those with the
I need to-
natural talent.
All the games that you saw in Tron.
Oh yeah.
Light cycle races, the
Oh,
disc
man.
battles, the little whatever the thing was where it was like a super futuristic Pong with the ball bouncing
Oh,
off
yeah,
the
yeah.
roof and knocking the platform out under him.
Right.
I would watch
Like
the
super
shit.
badass ping pong.
Yeah, exactly. I'd watch the shit out of if Tron games if those were legit. If they had some real
Yeah.
versions of those, you could go far with a lot of those games. That'd be.
I
best.
loved that when in the remake how they kind of stayed true to form and didn't change those games
Mhm.
very much
Yeah,
from the original
from the
movie
original.
version.
Yeah, just looked better.
Yes, exactly. Just better graphics.
Exactly, yeah,
But the
like-
same shit. It's like.
I'd
yeah.
watch the shit out of some light cycle racing, like trying to
Oh,
see
yeah.
them trying to cut each other off with the walls and everything that they create. That'd be badass.
I'm still stuck on professional sex Jenga.
You're
What about
so-
Excite Bike? Where
Excite Bike?
guys are on dirt bikes and they go over jumps and race each other.
It's called Supercross.
Oh,
I was say, don't they already have that?
damn it!
What about Paperboy?
Because like Paperboy, okay, that's a professional
Professional-
Paperboy. Like
I
they
see
have
that.
they have this one block set up, and they'll have like as he gets to a certain point, they like let a Rottweiler out to come after him,
I see that.
or he'll be crossing a driveway, and all of a sudden this car will just slam out of a garage right in his path. That'd be awesome. I'd watch
I see that every
hardcore
morning.
Paperboy.
There's a white Suburban, or I think it's the Hanson's little that tiny station wagon
Yeah.
that they've had forever.
Oh yeah.
Delivering papers
Like a Volvo
across the
or
street.
a
Yeah,
Subaru or some
It's
shit.
not even
It's
fun
not
anymore.
exciting,
It's
yeah.
not the
Yeah.
same.
it's you see them drive by with a flump as they're driving by. That's about it.
But like a legit paper, I could see that, man. I'd see this dog just chasing some kid on his bike as he's trying to.
And
throw
whoever
the papers.
finishes the course first.
Whoever finishes in the fastest
Yeah.
time with the course, or even finishes the course,
And
I mean,
you-
yeah.
the
You get extra
Rottweiler
points
might get
for
him.
smashing out the windows.
They made a movie about that. It's called Rad.
Dude,
I forgot about that.
dude.
Rad. I forgot all
Is
about that.
Rad.
What about Rocket League?
Oh yeah.
What is Rocket League?
It's
It's like RC Pro Am except soccer.
yeah, it's super, but they're actually real cars. I think supposed to be in
Yeah.
this.
Were they?
I think
thought
so.
They were RC.
I'm not sure,
That doesn't matter.
What?
but it's
Basically,
car
it's car
soccer,
soccer.
It's car soccer.
but it. I know there is car soccer already, but not with like angled up arena, so you could drive up on the walls and back down.
That's a thing.
It's a video
It's
game.
a video game. That we
Oh,
that you
okay,
play.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like
But
car soccer.
there are
with
people that
badass
have played
arena
car
league.
soccer. There's
Yeah.
leagues in England and shit
Really?
where you're like in a bunch of hatchbacks and got to knock the ball. In.
I was
There's
gonna say,
even
yeah,
one that has excavators
That
as the goalie.
exists, except they ride horses, and it's called polo.
That could be really cool. That could be really cool. I like that. Those are some good ideas.
Heck yeah.
Those are some interesting sports.
I don't know if they're really good, but
I think they were
Interesting.
good. Like some of them were definitely like I'm stuck on this Paperboy now. I just keep seeing like a hardcore fucking Paperboy tournament.
out of all that, that's the one that sticks. That's
Right?
I think Danny's still over there figuring
Think
out
about
the sex
Jenga.
Sex Jenga. He's like, where can I order Sex Jenga?
order it. Just use the one I have.
You'll just
write
write-
on it.
Like touch a boob.
BJ, flick a nipple.
I made my own one time out
Nose
of
and
regular
asshole.
Jenga set, but everybody thought that everyone saying Bang Danny wasn't good enough.
You need a little bit more diversity. Your portfolio is a little thin.
Oh.
Well, I was glad we finally got to that subject. That's what I had on my head
That was
for
a good
while.
fucking subject too.
Now, in like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months, you can come
Come
up with another
another one.
topic.
I'll come. Well, no, I'll come.
No, you
with
come
one.
up with it now.
I'll come up with
next-
one.
for
I'll
next
come up with one
episode.
tomorrow. In 6 or 8 months, we'll do it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll come
exactly.
up with it tomorrow.
Tomato,
Tomato, potato, potato.
Tomato 2018.
Spoiler alert, it's not gonna
Dude,
happen.
that's the best tomato because like it's like a futuristic tomato that doesn't have seeds.
What?
Tomato 2018. That's the year you went with, right?
It'll party like 1999.
The future.
Is here.
Is
6
next
months
year.
away.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, 2018 is not that far. They really need to start cranking on that
It
shit
sounds
right
cool
now.
as
Yeah.
shit, but that's
It sounds,
like
and then you realize you're like, fuck, it's July?
it's like
Yeah.
less than 200 days away.
We're almost in 2018.
Damn.
Fuck.
That's nuts.
This year's flying by. You know, we still have a few things to look forward to this year, though. Got Thor coming out soon.
Yeah.
Football.
Excited for that.
Deadpool
Got
2
football
in the
coming
future.
up. Deadpool 2 in the future. Yep.
Football season.
Football season's
Fantasy.
almost here.
Kicking Brian's ass again.
Shit.
Is that what happens? You get whooped at fantasy?
Fuck no.
Oh, damn.
Who?
There's no Brian algorithm in fantasy football, apparently.
There is not.
Danny loses pretty good.
Who is our league's champion this year?
Who
Refresh my memory.
drafted the champions team?
Refresh my
Not the
memory.
champion.
Rookie year, by the way.
Who-
Didn't even draft my own team. Had to just
Don't
deal
tell
with
me
what
you
was picked.
auto-drafted.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, even better. He had Willie draft for
Yeah,
him.
William drafted.
No, I'm about to say, man, don't tell me you won the league with an auto-draft team.
I won the
No.
league with the team that William Gerald drafted for me. Thank you, William. And rode that bitch to fucking victory.
He had like
William won the league.
one.
And
He had like
went
one
the
free
right
agent.
way to tech.
He had like one free agent transaction the whole year.
That was it?
I fucking I'm
Yeah,
not
He
Mr.
just
Free
rode that
Agent.
roster.
I'm not Mr. Free
Not
Agent
Mr.
guy.
Free Agent.
I fucking
I'm not
I
either.
ride and die
And it
with
does
my
me
fucking
nothing.
yeah. I mean, sometimes in my other leagues where it's not a free agent thing, it's more just like picking up off the waiver wires and shit. Like, I'll make some moves, but
That's kind of what free agency is.
but like wasn't ours where you had to pay or no?
No. No, it's just
You had
There
to pay
was-
for not showing up to draft.
yeah. There was like a need to pick up kind of thing. Like if I was last place, I'd have priority over you
Yeah, okay.
to pick up that top free agent that got dropped by Willie because he
Maybe it's
picks
my
up and
other one
drops
then.
players like 18 times a week.
And I only made one fucking change last year.
I think
Ish.
so.
Wow.
Hey, yeah, the other one you were
God.
talking about, it's one of your other leagues where you have like a set amount of money per week or whatever to spend on
It's
free agents or
okay, yeah.
something.
Your other
That's
leagues
not
where you
us.
actually pick your own team and lose?
Well, yeah, no, I finished second in that league. I do pretty good at fantasy football.
Nice.
I don't.
Like I get fucking.
I'm really bad at it.
I get ADD on it.
Just so you know, we've had a couple of worst, first to worst and worst to firsts. Just saying.
I've been both several times.
I'm not like bragging or whatever.
And John, he's been
I've
hardcore mediocre the
I've been,
entire
I've been
time.
doing the fantasy football thing, and I've literally either won or finished second every year in every league that I've ever played.
Except for one time playing a Yahoo league with nobody I know that I won. I'm the Phoenix Suns of the 90s. I'm the Buffalo Bills of the
He's
90s.
I take that back.
He's super fifth.
I finished third in my racer friends league like 2 years ago or something like that.
I usually do really well in the regular season and then get put out in the
Lose
first
in
or
the
second
playoffs.
round.
Dude, like what's her name? One of your daughters, one of the 9.
Chelsea.
Yeah, that was like killing all of us. That had like
No. He probably means Annie.
Oh,
Yes,
maybe.
yes,
Everybody
Okay.
thinks she's my daughter.
But like she killed us in the regular season, and then
Yeah.
she gets to the fucking finals. Just
She was undefeated for like
yes,
7 weeks.
yes.
The year before wasn't that Misty versus Jill?
Mm-hmm.
The what?
Misty won like the regular season bad, and then got put out in the first round by Jill, who ended up winning it. Upsets every
Who-
single week.
Barely made it into the playoffs.
Wow.
That's fantasy football for you.
Right.
Yep, any given Sunday.
That's the thing where like
Or Monday,
you
because
can.
that's when the tallies
you know,
usually come in.
The what?
I said any given Sunday. Actually, Monday, because that's when, or Tuesday morning, that's when the tallies come in.
Thursdays.
Tally ho.
That's
Yeah.
the start of the next
I always hate that whenever, like, Sunday you're feeling really good, and then you happen to have some people playing Monday who you're not feeling so good anymore.
I've
The
had a
worst
They
is
can
when you
change
like
real quick.
when you have this fucking killer lead and your team is done Sunday.
Oh,
and
then
this
you're
other
watching
guy
everybody else.
has like a kicker and his defense
On Monday.
on Monday Night Football, and suddenly it's like one for the ages where the
Ends up with a kicker.
for
that's-
like 8 interceptions
And
and
you
like
Didn't
I did
3 record-setting.
I think I came within a point or two of you.
I did
like
that for a couple of years by always picking.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I had a 30-point lead going into this game.
And Sebastian Janikowski got me like 22 or something.
For the first couple of years I was in this league, I always picked the Cardinals kicker no matter what. And
Right.
I won games off of that dude because
Absolutely.
they kicked so much back in that. I
Absolutely.
mean, what,
They're a
7, 8
strong
years
team.
ago.
They get within the 40 like
Yeah.
every drive almost.
Yep. It's kicking. Yeah, that's the worst, man. You don't have no one playing Monday. You finish a good Sunday, and then all of a sudden, here comes someone's numbers just start creeping up, and
Just
you're like,
like a
where is
fucking-
it fucking
There's a
coming
bonus.
from?
There's a
Dark
bonus.
horse
There's a
just
bonus.
fucking reeling you in.
And then here comes Monday.
Victor
and
Cruz
you're-
got 48 points.
Yeah, here comes Monday and you're sex jinged in the ass.
Yeah. Sideways.
Alrighty then.
On that
Sex
note,
Jenga.
remember,
Next episode.
be,
of
sa-
Aim
be
with
safe when
Adventure.
you play Sex Jenga.
I think we
Where's the fun of
found
that?
the topic of our podcast.
Yeah. Did you say Sex Jenga?
How many people are going to be watching the
Who's
whole
got-
way through, waiting for Sex
Sex Jenga to
Jenga?
come up. And
Would
then
you
at the
be
end, it's
a-
like every 3 seconds.
Sex Jenga, Sex Jenga.
Just like Sex Jenga.
Oh
Alrighty.
my god.
Peace out, bitches.
Go. Deuces.
Later.
See you guys.